Well, it's going down today in two states in Nigeria. It's election morning in Kogi and Bayelsa states, and we're here to give you live coverage of the events in those states. We have correspondents standing by there to let us know up-to-date information about how it's going down in Kogi and Bayelsa. Your radio has to be your friend today, and you can take it a step higher than that. You can also make your radio your TV by watching us on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. You're welcome to the election coverage studio this morning. It is a beautiful day. It's November, and we're here November 16th, election morning. And we're here to give you coverage. I am Wemimo Adewuni, and I'll be with you from now till 12 o'clock, working together with our newsroom and working together with our correspondents in Kogi and Bayelsa State to ensure that we keep you up to date with events in Kogi and Bayelsa. So if you want to know how the elections are going in those states, the place to stay right now is Nigeria Info FM. Call your friends and family members, put up your radio, turn it up, make sure everyone can hear so you can follow these events. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting day. Remember that it's been quite dramatic in both states over the past few days. We have been bringing you updates from about 2 days ago, from Thursday morning on the Morning Crossfire on Hard Facts. Again, yesterday we had updates on the Morning Crossfire. And today, throughout the day and tomorrow, we'll be keeping you updated till the results are in. Yes, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can be sure that we got you covered. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. You are welcome. I am Wemimo Adewuni. Like I mentioned to you, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. Just do a quick search for Nigeria Info FM. You find the live feed right there. You click on it, play the button, and you can watch what is going on. I'll be joined by Liboros Oshoma in a moment, and our correspondents are also standing by to keep us updated. We'll be heading over to them shortly to let you know what the mood is right now in Kogi State and Bayelsa. What are the people thinking about? Remember that the APC was almost kicked out of that election, but we got updates yesterday evening. If you've been following the event, there was a federal high court ruling that asked that the APC should not participate in the elections. But there was another ruling, that's in Bayelsa State. There was another ruling from the appeal court. There was a stay of execution order. And yesterday evening, there was another report that the appeal court in Port Harcourt, ordered INEC to allow the APC and its governorship candidate, David Leon, in Bayelsa to participate in today's election. The lead judge of the court, Justice A.O. Lokolo Sadokwi, gave the order following an ex parte motion filed by Michael Noma, lawyer to the Bayelsa APC candidate. Justice Sadokwi also ordered that all the parties should be served the processes. Our correspondent from there, who followed that court's judgment, Joshua Zedike, reported that lawyer to the APC gubernatorial candidate in Bayelsa State, Michael Numa, said with the order of the court, his client must participate in the election today without interruption. Certainly now there is a court order. Remember that a federal high court in Yenagoa had said that the APC had no candidates in today's election. So it's been interesting the past few days, and we've been following the events for you right here on Nigeria Info. Now, the APC would have a candidate today. Remember, the INEC had already said there was almost nothing they could do since it was pretty close to the election. All the ballot papers had been printed, sensitive materials had been distributed, and it was just going to be a tough job striking out APC from the ballot. So I guess it's a bit easier for INEC today, since the court has said, well, the APC must be a part of the elections in Bayelsa, and so it must be jubilation in the camps of the APC right now. Unfortunately, also, a number of people had lost their lives in the past few days, pre-election, both in Kogi and Bayelsa states. We got a report from Kogi State during a rally of one of the parties, the APC there in Kogi State, that one of the some of the supporters, one of them had allegedly killed another person, stabbed another person, ran into the stadium, where he was then mobbed and lynched. right there without security forces doing anything about it. Before then, we had got reports of security men firing into the air in what they term a show of force in Kogi State. And of course, the police boss there saying, no, that cannot be allowed. And of course, saying that they would query those policemen who had fired into the air. But if you had listened to the Morning Crossfire yesterday, you will hear our reporter Philip Nweli. While he was giving us that report, we had trucks of policemen, civil defense, even Nigeria Army, moving through the streets in what they call a show of force to let everyone know we are here and we tend to cover this election and make sure that no rogue gets away with any ballot box or ballot paper around here. We're in charge, and they're showing their force of power there. Well, you are welcome once again in the election coverage studio. We're going to have an amazing time together. We'll be doing this with you. That means you'll be joining us over the phone. You would have enough time to share your thoughts with us. Well, our correspondents are giving us heads up. In Kogi State, Obangede Ugodo Ward in Okehi local government area, INEC ad hoc staff had arrived there at 7 a.m. today. INEC ad hoc staff had arrived, setting up at 7 a.m. Elections are meant to have kicked off 8 minutes ago. So we'll be reaching out to them to know if elections have truly started, if we have areas where the INEC staff haven't arrived yet, and why haven't they? We also have reports of Zubey Nasiru, a voter, asking INEC to come to polling unit 005 CSS Oga Minana. That's another polling unit there where they haven't seen any INEC official right there. So as usual, it looks like elections would not start at time in many areas across both states. We also have Joshua Rogers, a correspondent in Bayelsa, as well as Sobi. They both will be covering Bayelsa State for us, and they will be giving us live report. Remember that your radio is now visual. That means that you can watch us and you can as well see what's going on in Kogi and Bayelsa State, because our reporters will be giving us video visuals, and they'll be giving us visuals. That means it's not just their voices you would hear. So go ahead to Facebook right now, follow us, and make sure that you're watching the video and share it as well. You're welcome to the live coverage studio of the elections this morning. I am Wemimo Adewuni. When we come back, we'll be listening to a correspondent across both places, giving us updates about the elections. You're welcome. You're welcome.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
Welcome back. 10 minutes past 8. 10 minutes after elections should have started in Kogi and Bayelsa State. You can tell us what you expect today from the elections in both states, remembering, that there have been incidents in the past few days leading up to the elections. What do you expect today? Remember that in both states there are over 30,000 policemen deployed. In Bayelsa, over 35,000. In Kogi, over 31,000 police officials will be working during the elections. That aside, having men of the NSCDC, the Nigerian army, also there, all making sure that absolutely no one gets away with ballot boxes or with trying to overthrow or overturn the elections today. Well, I'll open the phone lines for you in a moment so you can tell us what you expect from the elections today. Do you have a stake in the Kogi and Bayelsa elections? You can tell us what your stakes are. Are you from there or do you have people there? What do you look forward to in the election today? Certainly you can't campaign for any candidate, you know that, right? But tell us, what do you expect? It's 12 minutes past 8. Elections have not started in those states yet. Well, I'm looking forward to a time where we can truly start voting at the top of the hour at 8 a.m. But for now, that's not the case. Here are the phone numbers if you want to join us now.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Yes, we are listening. We'd love to hear from our female callers. So the first number is for female callers only. 012770993 is for female callers. So check yourself carefully and be sure that you are a female caller before you call that line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Fantastic morning to you. Election morning, 2 states. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, as usual, I know that it will be tough. But then I want to urge the people of Kogi and Bayelsa to go out and exercise their franchise. And I want the security for agency to be neutral in the both states. That's what I want to say.
Right. Do you think that the presence of so many policemen might deter voters from turning up today? 35,000, 31,000. In both of the states, is that not too many?
I thought so. I know that we are going to have both parties today. I know it will surely happen because even from the report that we had yesterday that even custom immigration that are here, so it's scary. But then I believe that it's to scare people away. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for calling us. If you're watching on Facebook right now, you can see visuals. Remember that this is not just radio. This is visual radio. So head over to Facebook so that you don't miss out on anything happening here. You can see visuals of Kogi State, of people hanging around waiting for the elections to start. You can say this is quite an impressive turnout. Some ad hoc staff right there have set up. Some are just quote unquote opening shop. Opening the doors to set up polling units. You can see polling booths. You can see people gathering together. You can see. Just head over to Facebook, guys. Don't miss out on the action. Or on Facebook or YouTube, you can watch us live there. We have a correspondent, remember, in Kogi and Bayelsa State, and they'll be giving us not just information over radio, but also visuals from there. People are sitting around waiting for the elections to start. We haven't gotten reports of elections starting in any of the polling units yet. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Good morning.
Yeah, happy weekend, though. You are still at work.
Yes, I am.
The Lord is your strength.
Amen to that.
Yes, we are hoping and praying that the election will be peaceful by the grace of God. Usually, we can predict that there will be voters apathy. That one is certain, because the presence of the heavy, the large number of police security officials is even something to be worried about. But we are just hoping and praying that there will not be casualty. And I want to urge all voters in the state to just go there peacefully, cast their vote, and leave. You understand? These police officers, excuse me, security men, they are not beasts. They are not wicked. Once you don't foment troubles, they will not harm you. They will not they do anything harmful or that will affect you. Just go there, cast your vote, and leave. I pray people will comply with that. You don't
suggest that people should cast their vote and hang around for it to be counted.
There are agents. There are party agents there. There are party agents. Honestly, that's what I usually do. When I go to any polling booth, I cast my vote and leave immediately. And I go home on my TV or my radio and begin to monitor it.
You follow from there.
That's how to stay safe. Honestly.
Right.
So it's wisdom. God will protect us. So it is well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Stay listening. Do you also think that voters should vote and go back home and then follow up on their radio and TVs? Or do you believe that voters should wait and make sure that the votes are counted? I mean, if you don't want there to be any form of cheating, you want it to happen right in front of you. Some people even go ahead as to take photos or, start counting the votes and put up, okay, this is the results in my polling unit. They put the detail on social media according to them, so nobody can contest and say, no, that wasn't the number. So we were here, we saw it. So do you think that in Kogi and Bayelsa State, people should vote and wait for their vote to be counted? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, hope I'm calling the line for the men.
This is Nigeria
right?
Info. Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I landed as a line for women.
Oh, no, this is not this is not the female line. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Chris Olusisi.
Right.
Yeah, I'm calling from Lagos.
Welcome, Chris.
I just pray that everything, go as planned. Because 30,000 plus police officers in the state and over 30,000 another state. So by the grace of God, there won't be any casualty. And I wish Nigeria the best of luck.
Right.
Next election.
We do too.
All right.
Thank you. Keep following the updates right there. We'll keep you updated. Good morning.
Yeah, Wemimo, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah. My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Ejo City.
Welcome, Joseph.
Yeah. You see, this Kogi and Bayelsa of thing. I'm not, what I'm worried for is not even the number of security agents that are there, but of what use would they be there today for? Were they not the day the SDP woman came there and was so much embarrassed, and up till now, nothing has been done about it? So at the end of the day, you will agree with me that most of them will be there today to cheat and maim innocent people. So in fact, the end point of it is that there is going to be voters apathy. That's all. But God help us. That's my take.
Well, we sincerely hope that there will be no apathy, because once there is apathy, what happens is that the votes, I mean, that means that the people are not involved in the people that would begin to rule and govern them. I mean, and we wish to have a place in a democracy where all Nigerians can participate in the election and in deciding who they would like to govern them for the next 4 years. Remember that in Kogi State, it's been very interesting. The current governor is seeking re-election, and he's had it pretty dramatic over the past few weeks and months, because he had been owing salaries for about 30 months and finally paid up, of course. But he's got support from the federal, you might want to put. Remember that the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, had during the campaign of Yahaya Bello knelt down to appeal to the people of Kogi State. He said, please forgive Yahaya Bello if he has offended you, and please vote him in for another term. Would Kogi people forgive him and vote for him today? The First Lady of the country also, Aisha Buhari, had also put in a word for Yahaya Bello by saying, it wasn't absolutely his fault that he wasn't able to pay salaries for 30 months, that they had to do biometrics, confirm the number of workers, and once that was done, then they were able to pay. So others will say, well, the payment of salaries came in because of elections. I mean, why owe salaries for 30 months? Well, he said, well, I didn't mean to owe the salaries. And the salaries are paid, but would the people forgive him and vote him for another term? That's a big question on the table today. There are so many participants in the elections in both parties. Of course, there seem to be two main parties leading, but of course, there are several others who are coming close right behind these parties. Some of them had been rejoicing in Bayelsa State once the APC was struck out of the ballots by a court, but now the APC will be back on the ballot. That means it's going to be a tough and very stiff competition between all the parties to get the vote. About 45 candidates. Wow, it's going to be a very tough election today. All right, I'll be taking your thoughts again on the phone to tell us what you think and what you expect from the elections today in Kogi and Bayelsa State. Here we go again. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wemimo.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. I don't know why politicians in Nigeria take people for granted. How can somebody give an excuse that he was doing biometrics for 30 months before he could pay salary? That is absolutely ridiculous. I've never heard anything like that before. And the truth is, if not for this re-election that is going for, you would not have paid salary. So people should be careful and not be deceived. Really. That's just my take on that.
You think the payment of salaries was just to encourage people to vote for him?
If not for the re-election, he would have just ignored it, and the incoming government would have just taken that, that budget.
Well, we would know if the people were persuaded today. I mean, the governor, a whole governor knelt down during the campaign and said, please forgive him.
When these people are looking for Nigerian votes, they can do anything. He's not the first person that would have done that. Some past governors have gone to carry some hawkers' trays at some point, go and sit at the bus stop eating corn and all that. That's just nonsense. The point is that Nigerians should be wise enough to understand that these people, they don't have the good of Nigerians at heart. So they should go to the pool and then use their brains. That's just that.
Right.
It's not about the 1,000 naira tips or the 5,000 naira tips that you're going to get here and there. It's not going to last 1 hour. And then you have 4 years to suffer, So that's just my take on that.
Thank you so much for calling us. Keep listening. Good morning.
Yeah, Wemimo, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Good morning.
This is Mark on the line.
Welcome, Mark.
Unfortunately, that is my seat.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, Yaya Bello has failed. 30 months, and I'm not begging now, paying. If I tell you my mom is a retired matron. We have to be sourcing money for him, I and my junior one.
Wow.
Pensioner. When you don't even pay the staff, how much more the pensioner? And yet some big weight in the APC are supporting, soliciting for him. Even right here, some big weight in Lagos. Massive people now going to Kogi State now, they want to go and support. They are not supporting. I don't know why we are just supporting mediocrity in Nigeria. It's very unfortunate. Our leaders have failed completely. They are not even achieving any longer.
Has she been paid now? Has your mom gotten any money paid to her now?
Well, up to now, my mom, in fact, I don't even want to talk about it any longer. Because people, if you get to local Jacobis as a whole, you will see hunger flying around. I'm telling you the truth. And the same person is now begging that this will come and so it's a shame. Honestly, it's a completely a shame. There's no conscience anymore in Nigeria politics at all. Honestly.
Well,
it's very sad that we are experiencing what we are experiencing now. Despite the campaign of transparency, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, look, just take it away. It's unfortunate.
Right, thank you. Well, we have Judges Mark Nobson, who is ready to speak to us from Kogi State in a moment. We'll be linking up with him, but that will be after the break. We need to head up for a very short break. When we come back, we'll give you a live feed. Remember that you can watch us on Facebook. I don't know what you are waiting for. Head over right now. Thank you all, everyone who's joining the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. You can also do the same so you can see firsthand what's happening there. You can do this over your phone, over your tablet, your computers, any of your devices at all. Just head over to Facebook and do a quick search for Nigeria Info 99.3. The same thing on YouTube, and you can see our live feed right there. We also see your comments right there. Thank you all. Gabriel Agbonika on Facebook says, Kogi people will never forgive him. Well, the elections will tell today. The results will show us what's going on there. Matthew Bogun says, Wemimo, a beautiful morning. Thanks for making us know what's happening in the election state. Please, as the news breaks, let Nigerians know. Yeah, that's why we are here, and that's why we have correspondents on ground, so you can get the information firsthand. Elias Suadama is also here, and Sam Prophet Toluwani Simi is also on Facebook. Thank you all. Let's head up for a very quick break, guys. When we come back, Judges will be giving us live coverage from Kogi State. He's there with Philip Nweli, and they'll be telling us what's happening, and you can see it. So I'll give you a moment to head over to Facebook and follow us right now, and also on YouTube. Twitter is also available for your comments. 01277 0993. Those are the numbers that you can call for the female callers only. That number is just for the female callers. If you'd like to join us on Twitter, is at Nigeria Info FM. We will be back in a moment. Stay here.
and sports after this.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info. 2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station.
And you're welcome back. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's Saturday, D-Day for Kogi and Bayelsa State, 16th of November it is. And we have our correspondents on ground in both states bringing us live updates from there. If you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, then you can join the action by watching the videos and not just listen on your radio. You can listen in and also watch visuals of what's going on in both states. Well, you're welcome back. I am Wemimo Adewuni. I'll be with you till 12 noon. As we follow events in Kogi and Bayelsa State. Philip Uweli has been sending us reports and also Joshua Rogers, who is standing by in Bayelsa State. Well, we just gotten reports from Bayelsa State from Joshua Rogers that some core members who will be working for the elections are currently scared. You can see the pictures if you head over to Facebook because there were gunshots heard in that area. At the community hall area, in the area, gunshots were fired just about 7 minutes ago, 8:23, at a community hall in Rak. At the Rak in Ward 5, Opolo, Yenegoa, Bayelsa State. In Bayelsa State right now, Opolo, Ward 5, gunshots were heard, and core members are scared. They should be working. Some gunshots were fired at the community hall in the area. We also have currently accreditation and voting ongoing. Started at Unit 2, Okutu Kutu Community in Okolo Ward 5, Yenagoa, which is the capital of Bayelsa State. Soibi Oruwari is there. He visited Ward 5. RAC in Opolo and reports that majority of electoral materials and ad hoc staff for today's elections have moved to their units. Elections accreditation and voting has begun at Unit 2, Okutu Kutu Community in Opolo Ward 5, Yenagoa, right now. We have that report coming in from Soibi Oruwari right there in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Again, remember, Joshua Rogers sent us a report in that the core members at Ward 5 have been scared off by gunshots fired at the community hall in Opolo Ward 5 in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. That's at the capital of the city. We'll be speaking with Rogers, Joshua, and Soibi just in a moment to tell us what's happening after the gunshots. Have people settled down back to continue voting, or have voters turned back? We hope that there are security men standing by in those areas. There are over 1,000 polling units in these areas, and one would wonder how many policemen are standing by in each polling unit to ensure that there is protection of lives in those areas. I asked a question of the Morning Crossfire yesterday about policemen and security agents using live ammunition during elections. People have argued that they need to use live ammunition because some hoodlums also come firing at people, and they would need to combat them to push them back during elections. Others would say, why use firearms? Why use live ammunition, which could kill people? You can tell me what you think about this. And I mean, our elections aren't where they should be. I mean, we still have election violence. We still have people coming to steal ballot boxes with guns, not minding whether people are killed in the process or not. We still have people whose sole purpose is to make sure the election goes their way or no way. So what's your thought about firearms during elections? Remember, during the general elections, there were tough words going around, with the president also saying that anyone who attempts to steal ballot box might have to pay with it, with his life for that. And of course, security officials have also been speaking toughly and saying if you were planning, if you had any plan whatsoever to steal ballot boxes or to disrupt the election, you would pay dearly for this. Well, we just had reports of gunshots at Ward 5, Opolo in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. That's the state capital where Joshua Rogers is standing by. Ward 5. We'll be joining him shortly to give us more updates from there. But what do you think about firearms during elections? We had this big conversation during the general elections in February this year about, should we be using firearms? Should the police be targeting, killing or maiming anyone who attempts to steal ballot boxes? But there's a switch to this. So those who attempt to steal ballot boxes don't also come to joke. They're not there to play. They want those ballot boxes, and sometimes they're firing and shooting. Like we just had gunshots. In Bayelsa State, it's just morning. It's just 8:35. The elections are just starting. If voters are scared by gunshots, we don't know for sure right now who fired the gunshots. The shots, if they were from the police or from some other persons, but we would find out in a moment when we have judges Magnobson in Kogi and also Joshua Rogers in Bayelsa State. If you'd like to join this conversation right now, here are the phone numbers you can call.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Yes, we are listening. It's Nigeria Info, and this is the election coverage studio for Kogi and Bayelsa State. The elections have started in one polling unit. We can confirm that right now, but we cannot confirm others. We can confirm in two areas where our correspondents have been to, Ward 2 and Ward 5 in Bayelsa State, in Yenagoa especially. And we have feeds that there were gunshots at one of the polling units. We hope that, some calm has been been restored in that area. The first number, 012770993, is for female callers. Would like to hear from the females also. You can join this conversation when you call those numbers. Oh, the phone lines are buzzing. Let's start here. Good morning. Hello? Okay, I cannot hear you. If you can. Hello, good morning. I need to speak louder. I can barely hear you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Emmanuel calling from Kogi.
Emmanuel, could you speak a bit louder, please?
All right. I want to talk about the election going on in Bayelsa.
Right, please go ahead. Where are you calling from, Emmanuel?
I'm calling from Moy.
All right. What do you think? Sorry about that. Probably something with your line. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm great. Good morning.
Morning, Jonathan.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Anyway, I'm from Bayelsa, so it's my state that is doing election. And it's so sad that I heard gunshots coming from my state. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
I think the security guys, they need to be on top of that too. And it's not unfortunate that I don't see them doing that. Rather, they want to play to the piper that is dictating their own tone. That's what they have done. Even the High Court, the Appeal Court, all what they just did, I call this, all what they are just playing to the piper who is dictating their tone. In one day. I don't think such a speedy judgment has ever happened before. I don't think so. And because the High Court is in the state and the Appeal Court is in federal hands, so they are just using it like pawns. It's unfortunate. And the judiciary allowed themselves to be used too. So where is the justice? Anyway, I wish them the best. Concerning salary, Wemimo.
Yes, please.
When they talk about the salary thing, there is something I always wonder me. That man did not pay salary for 30 months, right? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you, Jonathan. I'm with you.
That man did not pay salary for 30 months. I want to find out, those people that they are being owed salary, are they still going to that work? They owe you salary 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 up to 30. So them themselves, what have they done? I've never heard one day that people in Kogi State one day they got on the street,
right,
and forced everything. I've never heard it before.
And
I don't think I'm using myself now. I go your work 1 month, you no pay me. I go 2, you no pay me. I think struggle go 3. You no come pay me. I don't hear my voice.
You're wondering how they continued going to work with that for 30 months.
Exactly. It's not enough for us to just be facing the governor every time. Let's be logical with our thoughts. They are holding you salary for 30 months and you keep on resuming. How are you been copying? Where are you getting money from? Those are questions that I'm not saying the man is good or is bad. I'm being logical here. Only me 30 months salary. Something will happen. At the second month, something will happen.
Jonathan, thank you. Thank you so much. Keep listening. Well, the police PRO before the elections spoke sternly about how they'll be working during these elections to ensure that everything goes smoothly. Here's what PRO Frank Mba said.
Well, in one sentence, I would say we are set to go. We have made sufficient and adequate deployment for these elections. Earlier, before now, we have conducted a detailed security threat analysis that gave us a general overview of what the security situations are in the two states, some of the challenges that we anticipate, and some of these challenges that are actually coming up now are some of the things we've already factored out during the security threat analysis. And a lot of the deployments that we did are also based on those threat analysis. Our deployment are intelligence-driven. They are purpose-oriented. They are designed to achieve some definite and very specified targets. And you will understand that our tasks in these elections are very simple. Provide a safe and conducive environment for INEC and other stakeholders to be able to do their job and do them effectively. And the Inspector General of Police have already said, and he had repeated that in different fora, that for the purposes of this election, before, during, and after the elections, the Nigerian police force under his watch will remain very professional, will be politically neutral. Every single infraction of the law that has taken place in those two states are under investigations. Most of those cases are active investigations as I speak to you now. And in the coming hours and in the coming days, we will be telling Nigerians the status of those investigations.
All right. You had Police PRO Frank Mba there talking about the plan to deploy 66,241 policemen were deployed for this election in both states. Judges Mark Nobison joins us from Kogi State. Judges, good morning.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Good morning. How's it going in Kogi this morning?
As we speak now, the election is about to commence because most of the polling units that we have gone to, is either the electoral officers were just coming in or they are not there at all. Okay, as we speak now, we are in Adavi local government, Lore Ward, in polling unit 05. But as you can see at the background, you will see that the people are here and waiting for the INEC officials so that they can actually do the accreditation and commence voting. This is 8:30 a.m. Over 8:30 a.m. and the INEC officials are not here. The people are still waiting for them. Earlier, we have been to Okehi local government. We've been to Okehi local government and similar situation where we encountered there. At polling unit 015 at Oban Gede, Ogodu ward. At 7 a.m., the polling INEC officials were there. They were preparing to actually set up. But at polling unit 014, the same thing occurred, and the people were there en masse. But when we got to Davi local government at polling unit 005, at polling unit 028, 003, 004, 012, as at 10 minutes after 8, no INEC official was on site. They were not there, but what I must say is that the people are outside. They were house en masse to do the accreditation and to commence voting. But the INEC officials were not there.
Well, right now the INEC officials are yet to get there, and it's 8:45. But I can see behind you that people are already standing by, waiting for the elections to kickstart.
Exactly. People are here, they are waiting, and there are others at the corner there, but the INEC officials are nowhere to be found.
Wow. Have you heard anything from INEC as to what's causing the delay? Is it pretty hard getting over there? I mean, it's not like they have to cross the waters to get to these parts of Kogi State. So what's causing the delay, and what are the people saying? Does it look like they'll be waiting for the INEC officials to arrive?
Yes, when we got here, we spoke to some of them who they actually expressed that disappointment in the INEC officials not being here now. But they also said that they will be here until the INEC officials comes in. But from the INEC end, while we were leaving local guard this morning to Okene, we noticed that what were supposed to be done yesterday were still being done this morning. We saw the vehicles just moving out with the material to the polling unit this morning. And I believe that must be part of the reasons why some of the INEC officials are not in some of these polling units that we have visited.
I can see behind you, some people it looks like they're selling breakfast. There's a tray on the ground somewhere behind you. Some people came there to sell and make some money.
Of course, that is a common feature that you see across the road here. You see a food seller selling their food, doing their usual business, and the one you see, I think, is selling a petty trader selling sweets and all that. So those are the things that happens when during this kind of situation, when the people are just sitting down waiting for the INEC officials to arrive, for them to do their certification and for them to vote as well.
All right, judges, we'll go back to you in a moment so you can tell us when the INEC officials get there. I mean, if you're watching us on Facebook, you can see the visuals behind judges right now. I mean, residents are ready to vote. Some of them are buying breakfast. It looks like they didn't have breakfast before heading out. Some people just sitting by, buying stuff. You can see children playing around. So we hope that everything goes smoothly and safely for everyone turning out. There are also quite a number of women here, judges. Quite a number of women.
In fact, here at polling unit 005 in Lore Ward, the women are much. The other polling unit that we have been to, 015, 014, 04, 012, 028, I can tell you that the number of women that are outstand that of the men. In fact, they came out en masse for this particular exercise.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Thank you very much for that update, judges. We'll get back to you again in a moment. We'll get back to you again shortly. We'll be heading to Bayelsa State to speak with Soibi Oruwari, who is standing by in Bayelsa State. Rogers Joshua is also in Bayelsa State, and together they'll be bringing us updates from there. Philip Nweli is also in Kogi State, so we got you covered throughout the show today. But leading up to the elections, also there were tough talks coming in from the U.S. saying things about politicians who disturb the elections or who cause violence might be barred, according to a report, from getting visas into the U.S. The U.S. Consul General had this to say.
We have to hold people accountable for their conduct. And if we see hate speech and we see inciting to violence or we see violence itself, we're all responsible for holding them responsible. What that response will be depending on what the action is. Again, I don't want to speculate on what consequences might be, but there will be consequences that those are verified. Anyone who is verified as having participated in any of those actions we just talked about, whether voter intimidation, vote buying, or inciting to violence or violence itself, there'll be consequences. And that's something we're going to have to consider. What is the appropriate response? In a successful democracy, elections are free, they're fair, they're transparent, and they're peaceful. They have to be participation by the vast majority of the citizens. And that means making sure that all citizens feel safe and confident to go out and exercise their right to vote. Anything that a government can do, it should do to support that basic premise. How do you encourage participation? You make it safe for people to come out of their house. How do you encourage free and fair, transparent elections? You ensure that your election monitors and your election officials can work in a safe manner and that are not subject to political or other types of intimidation.
Right, U.S. Consul General, they're saying that, well, they're not clear exactly about what the consequences would be, but there will be consequences. That's Claire Pierangolo, who says there will be consequences for electoral violence during the Kogi and Bayelsa elections, and the U.S. will be watching keenly, and any politician found to have stirred up or promoted electoral violence, there will be consequences. We also have reports coming in from Kogi State right now. INEC personnel, voting materials yet to arrive in many polling units in Adavi local government area. But accreditation of voters and polling already in progress in almost all polling units in Okuru area, in Okehi local government area. That's in the central senatorial district of Kogi State. Many polling units in Adavi local government area, there are yet INEC officials to arrive. Voting materials also, but in Okehi local government area, that's in Okuru. Particularly the polling units in Okuru area of the Okehi local government area, voting accreditation is already ongoing at that place. So we'll be heading back to our correspondent, and we will be speaking to our correspondent in Bayelsa State, where we got reports earlier on that there were shootings, gunshots fired at the community hall there at Ward 5, Opolo, that's in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Gunshots were fired in that area. Joshua Rogers will be joining us to give us more updates. We hope the place has settled down and that the elections have commenced. Remember that over 66,000 policemen were deployed for these elections in both states. In Kogi State, 35,200 in that's for Kogi State, 35,200 policemen and 31,041 policemen will be drafted to Bayelsa State, according to the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations in Kogi and Bayelsa, Abdulmajid Ali, who spoke to reporters on Thursday in Lokoja. A total of 66,241 policemen will be joining, working during the elections in both states. We have Soibi joining us via the line right now. So, Soibi, good morning.
Good morning.
You and Bayelsa, where exactly in Bayelsa are you? What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm at a place they call Opolo in Ward 5 in Yenegua local government area. Right now, I've visited Unit 2, Unit 5, and...
Hello, Swebi. Swebi, are you there? Okay, we have a problem with the line there. We'll try to get him back. Soibi Oruwari has visited units 2 and 5 at Otukutuku community in Opolo Ward 5, Yenegoa, which is the capital of Bayelsa State, where many of those places, accreditation and voting is already ongoing. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can see pictures and footages from there, from those areas where the elections have begun. I'm particularly worried about Ward 5 in Opolo Yenegua, where there were reports of gunshots fired at the community hall. We hope to be able to get Joshua Rogers on air with us shortly. But let me ask you a few questions. Before I head back for another break. The U.S. said that there will be consequences for electoral violence. There will be consequences for electoral violence, and this most likely will be targeted at politicians. My question is, how do we decide? How will these politicians be found? Usually politicians aren't directly involved in violence. They aren't directly involved. They find other people. Remember, unfortunate report that we got days ago about killings that happened during a rally in Kogi State, where someone had stabbed another outside just by the entrance of the stadium where the rally was holding, ran into the stadium, unfortunately was mobbed and lynched right there while the campaign was ongoing, while the rally continued. So lives had been lost pre the election, which has kick-started in some parts of Bayelsa State right now. There are 8 local government areas in Bayelsa State, and of course there were several polling units. We'll give you a breakdown of this when we come back from the break. How many polling units are there? And how many contestants? We'll run you through the names of the contestants in the election in Kogi and Bayelsa State. Of course, it's an election, which means that people need to decide who they want to govern them for the next 4 years. It's a big decision to make because whoever is voted in decides the fate of the state for the next 4 years. Well, here is the live coverage studio, 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Wemimo Adewuni. We head back right after this break, a very quick break. Remember that we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. Just go over to Facebook, quickly do a quick search, Nigeria Info 99.3. You find us there. Follow us and you can watch out. Don't miss out on any of the visuals that we're sending to you from those areas. A quick break. We'll be right back.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Welcome back to your number one talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info, Election Coverage Studio.
You're welcome back. It's Election Coverage Studio. Soibi is back with us online. I am Wemimo Adewuni. If you're just joining us, well, we are still here till 12 noon on the first half. It's a full day thing. We're here all day, all night. Soibi, welcome back.
Yeah.
All right. So you were giving us reports about Bayelsa State. Tell us again where you are and what's going on there.
Okay. Right now I'm at a place called Opolo, where about two of the units where the voting and accreditation process was somehow altered because of some miscreants, some suspected political thugs. They had a serious argument and they couldn't allow the processes to start, though they did not hurt anyone from what I have gathered from the INEC staff, the ad hoc staffs, nobody was hurt, but because of the argument that ensued there, they couldn't start. I speak with you, they are trying to put their materials in order so that the voters who are anxious and standing outside to come into the hall could start. Right now, the combined security agencies been able to chase them away. They are far away from the environment. There was serious apprehension because everybody was scared of his life. I went through the road leading to the entrance of the community. You can see particles of bottles. Some persons are crying for their missing beloved persons because of the serious argument that took place. Right now, the place is calm. Voters are already outside while the adult staff are doing their finishing touch to how the processes can go on.
The police sent in quite a number of policemen to Bayelsa State, where there are 7 local governments. Is there a heavy deployment of security men at those polling units? And
yes. When those suspected thugs will come in their number, even if you are 4 armless, it's possible that you may not be able to outweigh them. But immediately they got the reports, those combined things immediately came in. I saw them. I couldn't enter the environment. When I came in, I couldn't enter. But within 5 minutes, I think they arrived. And when they arrived, they took over the place. And I observed that camp has returned, and they've started their work.
Right. We hope that this calm continues and that there is no more violence recorded in those areas. What's the turnout of voters at those polling units? What's the turnout like? Is there a high turnout of voters?
It's a densely populated area. I want to find out the numbers, but I can see a lot of persons, a lot of voters, trooping out, waiting outside. Because the voting is expected to take place in a hall. So all of them, they hang around to waiting for the people, the INEC staff to call them in. They are all in their numbers outside
and waiting. Thank you, Soibi, for the updates. We'll be back with you again shortly for more. Stay safe. Okay, we'll get back to you again. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Soibi Oruwari standing by for us in Bayelsa State, giving us live updates there. Joshua Rogers is also there in Kogi State. We also have a correspondent standing by there. Liboros Oshoma joins me this morning. Liboros, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wemimo.
Welcome.
Apologies.
Don't worry. No tea for you. All right, guys, let's remind you of what's happening. Remember, there are 8 local governments in Bayelsa State: Brass, Ekeremo, Lokokuma, that's Opokuma also, Mnembe, Ogbia, Sagbama, Southern Ijor, and Yenegoa. If you take a look at these areas, and there's a breakdown of the number of polling units. Number of polling units, if you look at let's look at the population in these areas first of all. You have a total of about 874,083 males Men make up about 51.3% in the state, and also females 830,432. That makes up 48.7% of the total population there. You can find this breakdown from the National Bureau of Statistics. Number of registration areas, you find of the 8 local governments, there are 105 registration areas. There are 1,804 polling units. According to INEC, the total number of registered voters, 923,182. Number of male voters, 498,790. Number of female voters, 424,394. But there have been reports of violence pre the election, and this morning also there were reports of gunshots fired in those areas. Liboros, what's your expectation for this election today?
My expectations have been met.
They have been met?
Yes.
Tell me about them.
I expected that there'll be gunshots.
Oh.
And there are gunshots. There will still be more gunshots.
Oh.
Especially in Bayelsa State. Also, the election might be inconclusive in Bayelsa. Kogi may be near, but not. But for Bayelsa, because you find out that Bayelsa is largely a riverine community, and this had been hotbed for criminal activities, and then you have a lot of warlords in these areas. You have a lot of generals without troops in these areas, and so, mind you, this also is the state of the former president, President Goodluck Jonathan. You heard Timi Priye-Siva also talking tough, as if, and then the drum beats of war from both the PDP side and the APC side is not something. It's not encouraging, and so I just looked at, and I also, against the backdrop of the last election in the state, at a point it was inconclusive, and so most of the reporters I would advise not to go too far from the state capital because of insecurity, and even some of the policemen that are opposed to these areas, a lot of them will not go beyond the state capital also.
Wow.
Because mind you, these are riverine communities. You have to assess some of these places, by boat.
Isn't that why we should deploy policemen to those areas?
Those areas
where there are flashpoints.
Policeman that how do you transfer a policeman from Sokoto State? He's not from the Marine Police Division. You transfer him from, the normal conventional police department, mobile police, simply because it's a mobile police, and you take him to a riverine area. And what if he's unable to cross the water? And what if, and then INEC materials also for this. Remember the Edo that is largely, a dry land also. You remember the Gele area, what happened, the boat mishap. So for that, this election, so for me, I wouldn't want anybody to die because of election. Nigerian politicians are not worth dying for.
Let me remind you of what...
So that's why I said, that's why I said that, I always tell people, blessed are those who are not expectant, for they shall not be disappointed.
Wow.
I'm not expecting a departure from the way the election was conducted in Bayelsa last election.
Talking about that security, I played this clip earlier. I'll play it again. Police PRO Frankenba talked about their deployment being based on assessment of insecurity in these areas. Let's listen to this again.
Well, in one sentence, I would say we are set to go. We have made sufficient and adequate deployment for these elections. Earlier, before now, we have conducted a detailed security threat analysis that gave us a general overview of what the security situations are in the two states, some of the challenges that we anticipate, and some of these challenges that are actually coming up now are some of the things we've already factored out during the security threat analysis. And a lot of the deployments that we did are also based on those threat analysis. Our deployments are intelligence-driven. They are purpose-oriented. They are designed to achieve some definite and very specified targets. And you will understand that our attacks in these elections are very simple: provide a safe and conducive environment for INEC and other stakeholders to be able to do their job and do them effectively. And the Inspector General of Police have already said, and he has repeated that in different fora, that for the purposes of this election, before, during, and after the elections, the Nigerian police force under his watch will remain very professional. We will be politically neutral. Every single infraction of the law that has taken place in those two states are under investigations. Most of those cases are active investigations as I speak to you now. And in the coming hours and in the coming days, we will be telling Nigerians the status of those investigations.
This is Nigeria Info, Election Coverage Studio.
Frank Mbade.
Our friend, fine talker.
It's a PRO. He's there to talk.
Yeah, he's the best that the police needs at this time. But unfortunately, these fine lines, I am sure if you play back Moshood, the former PRO of the Nigerian police, the lines will be similar to what he said during the staggered elections in Edo, in Ondo, and then also if you go back to, previous, including spokesperson of the president like Ruben Abati and co. These lines will sound
they sound alike.
Very similar. Lines like, yes, the police is on top of the situation.
They're prepared.
Go about your normal duty without fear or intimidation. It's good. But the first question would be that why will encourage our police, in spite of the limited resources and limited capacity, at various times you still see them, like the one that just happened, and your reporter said that they responded swiftly. Yes, we'll give them kudos, but you find out that also these challenges are everyday challenges. The attitude of our politicians to election is very desperate and daring. And then also the attitude of government, but one of the callers did say that, depending on where, the event is happening, be it at the state or at the federal, the attitude of the state government also and those at the federal also is very daring. And so that's why, for me, politicians have a very big role to play in also ensuring insecurity during elections. The police, we really don't need to shut down. We have said this, and we cannot overemphasize the need. We don't need to shut down an entire state because we want to go into election, but because of the challenges of insecurity. So you need to restrict movement. You need to, declare public holidays if it's a weekday, And so, because of all of those attitudes, the police also, to some extent, in some cases, are also very partisan, depending. And that's why
Frank emphasized that they would remain non-partisan.
That's why I'm telling you, leave all those stories. Those ones are fine lines. And that's why you find that in some cases, some police commissioners will be redeployed. In the last election, didn't they tell us the police will remain non-partisan? In Kano State, Commissioner of Police Wakili, that conducted that election and came out boldly. We're in the studio here. Came out boldly to, challenge status quo. And at the end of the day, how was he compensated? He was posted away. Somebody has brought into, so...
Let's look about Bayelsa State, where you have expectations. Your expectations are a bit, with the red lines, written with red ink. But these expectations, the past few days have been very, very interesting in Bayelsa State.
Yeah.
There was a federal high court ruling that asked that the APC be disqualified from the election. Within hours, there was a stay of execution order from an appeal court. I mean, by yesterday, there was an appeal court judgment that says the APC should be on that election. While we talked about this in the studio yesterday, the questions people asked was, does the appeal court normally work this swiftly? Like, there's a ruling from the Federal High Court. Hours afterwards, there's a stay of execution order.
You see,
is this normal?
Wemimo, it is not normal. Even the way the High Court and the Federal High Court acted also is not normal. So we need to tell ourselves the truth. You hear the voice of Esau, but hear the voice of Jacob, but you see the hand of Esau. And that's why the Minister for State for Petroleum was very angry and called the judge unprintable names, on an international platform. And then that's why you also saw the jubilation from the side of the PDP, as if they are not ready to go into any contest.
Because there was jubilation in the camp of the PDP when there was a ruling that the APC was struck out. And the PDP, in fact, emphasized that the PDP must not be on that ballot because there was a federal court ruling.
So that's why also I think that the courts should try as much as they can to restrain themselves, not to interfere, most especially when elections are this close. Yeah, because if you remember, it was issues like this also that led the Supreme Court to caution the courts not to grant frivolous ex parte applications.
Let me hold you a bit, Liboros. We're heading back to Bayelsa. Joshua Rogers is standing by there for us. Joshua, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You witnessed gunshots at certain polling units in Bayelsa State this morning. Tell us more about that.
All right, so at Opolo in Yenegua, there was a gunshot. Some gunmen arrived to the unit. At the time, the 4 members who were to work as ad hoc staff for INEC arrived at the place with electoral materials. But the situation was brought under control almost immediately by security agencies, a combined team of police and the army. And then within Yenegua right now, you will see that at every location, just very short intervals from each other, there are police or security checkpoints, make sure that the situation in Yenegua is brought under control.
Is that the same polling unit you are standing at right now? I can see you at this polling station. People are already voting.
It is not this polling unit. Where I am standing right now, I was heading to Kolokuma. Before I stopped, I saw a polling unit here. This is unit 15, Barai in Ward 7, still in Yenegua, but very close to Kolokuma local government area. The election is already going on, as you can see from behind me here. The presentation and voting started. Everything is very peaceful at this moment at this polling unit.
In some of the footages we got from Judges McNobson from Kogi State, one of the polling units, there was a high turnout of women. At this polling unit behind you, there's a rather high turnout of men. I can only see very few women here standing on the queues.
Well, there are women, but more of men, especially at this polling unit where I am. I reported yesterday when I went on the street to ask people's opinion, and then some people were afraid because of what has been happening, especially the Nembe incident. It's really scary. People are afraid, and I think that they're still waiting to see what will happen. Especially when that news was reported, that gunshot was reported in Ukolo in Yenegua. It will further send a wrong signal to people who will ordinarily want to come out. But for now, you have a lot of men here. Women are also here. But from the registration that was done, there's no big margin between the men and the women that registered for this election. Yeah, from the record INEC released.
Well, if you look around you, what's the number of security men? Can you see security men around you? Over 35,000 were deployed to Bayelsa. How many do we have at this polling unit?
Yes, from the entrance to this place, there are armed security personnel, not the police, but the army. They're bearing arms. But one of the army officers without arms is right here at this polling unit where this is happening. From the road to come in here, you will start to see security personnel who are carrying arms.
Right. Joshua, thank you for that update. We'll get back to you again shortly for more updates. We need to go now to Kogi State, where we got reports that Governor Yaya Bello is casting his vote in Agasa polling unit in Okene. Philip Nweli is there. Will be giving us updates right now. Governor Yaya Bello voting right now in Agasa polling unit in Okene. We would be getting feeds from Philip Nweli shortly to let us see if he's still casting his vote and what's happening at that polling unit. Well, Liboros, not too far from your predictions. From the footages we got right now, mostly men. Looks like the ladies are scared from coming out. And the turnout is not as much as what we saw in Kogi.
When you turn election to war, what you're indirectly telling the people is not to come out. And then, unfortunately, at the end of the day, votes will be counted and ballot box will be stuffed. Ballot paper, voters register will be ticked.
You seem to be very sure of how this will play out.
I just came back.
Did you have a dream?
I just came back from the tribunal and then
you saw a lot.
I saw a lot, and I know the way some of these elections also, because it's a do or die thing for them, and you hear them talking tough. You see, why would I ask a question? Why would you carry a gun to serve people? You want to serve me, but you are threatening me with gun that you must serve me. If it's about service,
it shouldn't be by force.
It shouldn't be by force. If it's about service, why would you want to disqualify your opponent?
Because I should have the right to choose who would serve me.
Why would you want to disqualify your opponent so that you'll be the only one standing? It's not about service. And so, like I was telling you, I think also, yes, why politicians would not want to play by the rules. They would, do everything to manipulate the process, and the courts are there to look into the process to ensure that they play by the books. But the court also should try as much as they can, most especially when elections are days away. They should try to restrain themselves from meddling in the affairs of, candidature. Because when it happens, it will throw a lot of spanners in the works. No matter how altruistic your reasons are, people are going to read motives into it. So like what happened in both at the Federal High Court and at the State High Court for Bayelsa. Remember also it happened with Ondo election where Jimo Ibrahim, ran riot around the PDP candidates until a week to the election. And the man was in Abuja while his opponent was busy campaigning. At the end of the day, he just couldn't make it. It's the same thing. I think this was the same thing they wanted to repeat in Bayelsa, but like at the end of the day, it was more of, okay, you use yours, I use mine. Unfortunately, I'm saying it here as a lawyer, but the swiftness of the Court of Appeal. When I saw one of the order, and it was like, even the senior advocate was asking me, are you sure this actually emanated from the Court of Appeal? An injunction, pending a motion for an appeal.
Right.
Is this normal?
Is this right?
I said, well, maybe the order granted was a declaratory relief. And so if it's a declaratory relief, so what they probably asked for was an injunctive relief, an injunction pending appeal. But what I'm seeing here is an order granted ex parte also.
Within hours.
Staying the judgment at the lower court and pending the hearing and determination of the motion
case.
On notice.
Right.
So, and these were, what the Supreme Court consistently warned judges against. Also because here, there are no sanctions. You do yours. At a point, Justice Kayode Esho of blessed memory did admonish that the way it was going, you create billionaire judges, and then when you ask them to go, they will just simply dust their gown and then go into retirement.
Because they have enough to live on. But some people have argued that, that's resolved by the appeal court to grant a stay of execution, and then hours later there was a ruling, was good for the elections because the election was closed.
It was good.
And there needs to be a determination
there needs to be,
in time for the election.
Yeah, there needs to be, and that's why also we have decided to, for reasons best known to the drafters of the law, they've decided to make the hearing of election petition time-bound. And so also, Court of Appeal are not that swift in normal cases, but election matters, being also time-bound, there was need for the court to quickly and swiftly decide on that. But the question is, in the first place, the Court of First Instance, both the Yenegua High Court and the Federal High Court, ought not to have, because even Logobri is crying foul now. I also want to blame him when you have internal crisis with your party and you think you approach the court that your opponent will not also use that
take advantage of it.
To take advantage of that. And so what he basically did was, take advantage of it. And he's saying now that the reliefs that were not asked for was what the court granted. That he was asking the court to declare him winner. That the primaries that was conducted, that he actually won the primaries. And so the court went ahead to say no, that there was no primaries. So you now begin to wonder. So when you put all of this together, for me, judges also, no matter how altruistic their motives are, they should refuse to delve into the arena with politicians. Noge, former CGN, once admonished that, Nigerian judges and lawyers should try as much as they can. It wasn't on Noge, I think it was Kayode Esho. They shouldn't allow themselves to be soiled, by politicians. But unfortunately, because I won't say poverty, because at that level, what kind of poverty will push you to, wanting to wine and dine with politicians?
Let's talk about the party issues, which you have mentioned quickly. The APC especially, all the parties. But the APC this year they've had issues with primaries.
It's a ruling party syndrome. When PDP was party at the center, they had the same issues. Almost all their state primaries then, they were parallel congresses. Everybody wanted to control the soul of the party. And then if you remember before now, the party, when you had Oyegun as national chairman, the state governors simply hijacked the state structure.
Which some would say that's the same thing they want to do now. But it looks like Oshomole is tough.
Oshomole, when he came, he wanted to instill party discipline. To say, look, it can no longer be business as usual. And that's why most governors also don't like him. And so with that, there were parallel congresses. Some people felt, look, you governors, you can't have it all your way. And so with those parallel congresses created crisis, in those parties. Because largely, a lot of people, we don't know how to play politics of opposition. So the moment you are out of the mainstream, like they call it, it's like you're a fish out of water. You quickly want to navigate back. So you leave your domicile part. Look at what is happening in Edo State. When Izeyamu was leaving the APC for PDP, he said he was going back home. Now that he left PDP back to APC, he said he was coming back home.
So both parties are home.
Both parties are home, or he was homeless. So it's the same thing for every ruling party in Nigeria. Right. So you see, people hobnobbing. And so once you have, marriage of strange bedfellows like that, where everybody converge, no ideology, no single ideology binding them together. So what they are going to have is personal interest. And so when the personal interest conflicts, they are going to have this crisis. And so that's why you have them having this crisis.
Let's talk about this some more.
Today,
the same thing will happen. But they're also having such issues. It's just not as much as the
because
ruling...
they are not the party at the
Like
center.
you said, it's a ruling party syndrome, most likely. We'll come back to talk some more and also take your calls and comments. We can see your comments on Facebook. We'll read them all just in a moment. Remember, you can also join us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. And if you'd like to see all of our live footages, head over to Facebook and YouTube. We told you about 9:14, Governor Yaya Bello voted at Agasa polling unit in Okene. He voted right there at about 9:14 a.m. You'll be able to see pictures of that on our live stream. Let's head up for a very quick break. When we come back, more conversations. And if you'd like to join the conversation, that will be after the break. You'll be able to join us over the phone. Join us again. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
2 states, 2 two destinies, two jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Two states, two destinies, two jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station.
You're welcome back. We're having a fantastic conversation right here in the studio. While we were on that break, Boros Oshoma is here with me in the studio. He's a constitutional lawyer who also went to slug it out at the tribunal, state level. Boros, you didn't tell us how that went.
It went well.
You were pretty under the radar during that period. It was tough, yeah?
Yes, it went well. And then, at the end, no matter what happened, we will have to defend what happened. And so that's why, for me, it's a tall order. For those that are planning to go to election petition tribunals, you hear politicians now say we would rather win at the polls and let the opponent go. to tribunal because it is difficult to prove irregularities, at the tribunal because you need to prove polling unit by polling unit.
Within a limited time.
Within a limited time. And the materials that you need to prove are with INEC. And even when you get the materials, you also need to speak to those materials at the tribunal. How much time do you have? If you don't speak to them, the court will say you dumped the materials on them. And so they can't go into the recess of their chambers and begin to do your case for you. So before you know it, not just that particular case, there are other cases that they will have to hear.
Right.
And so 180 days, boom, it's gone.
We'll be asking, do we need more days for the Election Petition Tribunal? But it will also affect other cases pending during when the sittings go on.
We should conduct elections and let the elections be decided at the polls. We really don't need to be going to tribunal. This idea of going to tribunal, the only way you see tribunal upturn elections of victory, it's when there are, apparent, either pre-election or technical grounds, not on irregularity at elections. So and then you hear of 43 candidates, 23 candidates, but you had only 2 major candidates because you have a lot of pretenders during election. Some people just want to bear that name, former governorship aspirants.
Right.
Former presidential aspirant. They carry letterhead, former presidential aspirant. Some people, in the last election, we saw how some people were very popular on Twitter. They could not even convert those popularity on Twitter to votes. They came far. Even those, the second runner-up was people we hardly knew. And then that's why I think that people should, be more concerned about building, blocks and profile immediately after election than just waking up 6 months to election and say you want to be governor or you want to be a senator or you want to be president of Nigeria. It's a tall order. It's a difficult one. And then on the insecurity, remember, during the peace accord in Kogi, you saw what happened. And yet, Frank Uba is talking, beautiful speaker and then the police were there, even while this lady, Natasha was, being manhandled. Then, we talked about salaries in Kogi, because we're talking about Bayelsa. I felt very ashamed to see the president's wife, plead on behalf of Governor Yaya Bello, and then also attempt to exonerate him from the problems of non-payment of salaries. I felt very ashamed. For El-Rufai, like I told you, blessed are those who are not expectant, for they shall not be disappointed. I don't expect anything good from Nigerian politicians.
But he is a current governor, remember?
For El-Rufai, I expected such lines from him.
Kneeling. It wasn't just speaking, it was kneeling and appealing.
One of your callers said they will do anything. They ate corn. Oshomole ate corn.
Right.
Amechi.
Fayose also did the same.
Amechi was plaiting a woman's hair. Fayose ate amala. Fayemi shared eba to old people. All of them, they do this thing. Ate sugar cane. President's wife fried akara.
But it looks like it works. It looks like that's what Nigerians like. Someone who can identify, quote unquote, with them. And they just go ahead and vote.
Nigerians want a leader who can identify with them during and after election. Even while you're in office, identify with their pain. It also worked for Goodluck Jonathan when he came and said, I had no shoes. And then he came, he had so many shoes and he forgot that the ground was hot for others. The same thing for Buhari. He came, oh yes, the man understands your pain. Oh, he will change everything. But the man got there and became so distant from us and then turned the vice president to ceremonial president, So when you hear people like the president's wife trying to exonerate Yaya Bello, and I asked the question, if Buhari, her husband, had not paid salary for 30 months, the same Aisha Buhari that we know, who had been a voice for the voiceless, would have criticized the husband.
So the question is,
so
what's
the question
different
is, what's different? What is there that we are not seeing that you had to go and try to exonerate Yaya Bello to say they were doing a verification? And how many years? If not that the federal government released 10 billion naira to him, wouldn't they have paid salary?
And now that you've brought me to the 10 billion naira, that 10 billion naira was released just about 4 days before elections. At the plenary that day, I mean, lawmakers were divided. Those from the APC were for it. Those who from the PDP and other parties were saying, no, wait a week before you send this money. But some would say that there's nothing illegal about it. It's the money the federal government owes the state. But question is, why pay it 4 days before the election? Does it influence the election?
Yes, it does. It does. We know in Nigeria you need money for elections. The PDP also would raise money for their candidate, why the APC, being the government at the center, would look for a way to say, okay, how much were we owing you that time? Okay, send your account number, let us wire this money. National Assembly, and they have the majority. It is by voice vote. Let those in favor say aye, those against say nay. Oh, the ayes have it. And so...
But let's clear this. This refund shouldn't be for elections because the current governor is contesting as an individual, not as a current governor. So the refund has been made to the state. If there's any way these monies have been used for elections, there should be a probe into how this money was spent.
Probe? Which probe? BFCC. When you are in the party at the center. So let's not delude ourselves. Let's stop making mockery of this, our so-called probe. And we see how a governor is going to take chieftaincy title. The entire commissioners, the entire cabinet would go. The functions of the state.
Or to welcome him at the airport.
Yes, the president is coming, everybody goes to... The president's son is coming, the minister for health goes to welcome him. And not to talk of a governor. Governor is taking chieftaincy title. The governor is receiving awards. Everybody would go. Local government chairman, all the commissioners will go. Psychophancy is the name of the game. And so, when there is campaign activities, state activities are completely at a halt. And then, do you know that in saner societies, I use the word saner societies because ours is not sane. All of us, we are not sane. All of us, all.
Liberous.
Until I see you drive, that's when I will know how sane you are. In saner society, if the president is campaigning, if he's going on a campaign trail, the party will have to hire a jet for him to go and not use a Force One.
Right.
Except he's going, what they do, you're going for a state function in that state, and then you now tie it to addressing your campaign rally. So from that, your state function, you move into campaign. That's the only way you can use a Force One.
In fact, your movement from your state function to your campaign rally is on you.
Yes, it's on you. But here, there is no difference. Even though our electoral laws makes provisions for state funds not to be used, but we see how state governments still deploy vehicles, official vehicles. In fact, it is even, fanciful when you see government vehicles with government plate numbers on that day of election.
Yeah, or at rallies.
Yes, exactly. So you now ask yourself, are they not being fueled by government funds?
So how come we have not been able to change all of this? I mean, year in, year out. I mean, we had elections months ago, the same thing.
Because you have the worst of us ruling the best of us.
How come we keep having the worst of us ruling us?
Because the best of us are not interested. We are we are hungry. They keep us perpetually poor. So when they throw crumbs at you and they tell you, it's not my fault that I have not paid salary, we're doing verifications. You believe.
Someone made the point, if you were listening to that salary conversation earlier on, and asked the question, Jonathan particularly said, how come there were workers that were not paid for 30 full months?
Because you
and
are
they
not
did not
paid,
complain publicly.
You are not paid. You remember there was a popular TV station whose salaries were being owed for 18 months. And their chairman said, he took his friend, when his friend was complaining, he took his friend to the car park and said, look at all these expensive cars. Does this look like cars of people who are being owned salaries? So he knows that maybe it's a give and take. Oh, you are using my platform to make money. And so, okay, I won't pay salary. It's the same thing. The state government now had become, an open racket for everybody. So government is owing you salary. So when
find another way to
when
make the money.
Wemimo Liboros comes to sign some documents from state government, you say, look, your boys are
You
here,
have to drop
or
something.
we have not been paid. You have to, or what are we getting? You are awarding contract to say, please bring my own up front. So at the end of the day, what you only hear is that salaries have not been paid. But yet these people find a way to come to work because there is something in it. If there's nothing, they would down too. Imagine a private organization owing salaries for 30 months. If there is nothing in it, you won't see anybody come to work. Because there is something in it, we keep going back there. And so when election comes like this, in some cases, they frighten us to leave, we'll leave. And then they do what they want to do. And in other cases, we'll say, well, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. That is why no matter how popular you are on Twitter, no matter how they tell you, oh, I love the way you speak, I love your analysis, it's the day you stand for election that you know that those analyses ended in the studio.
Let's talk
they will
about
tell you
those...
that your friends who should ordinarily vote for you will tell you won't win. So don't vote that.
Actually, they will tell you before the elections that you can't win. Yeah. Those parties that we talked about earlier, I mean, there are quite a number, and very soon I'll run you through the list of political parties. Very interestingly, in Kogi State, there are 23 candidates. In Bayelsa, there are 45 right now. So you have all of these political parties represented. But there was a call a while ago by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, which is a department of the National Assembly, that the INEC should reduce the number of political parties in the country to a maximum of 3.
I completely agree with them.
How so?
Because you find situations where most of these political parties exist in briefcases. And then during election, the national chairman of the party is the presidential candidate of the party, and he looks for 1 or 2 persons who are treasurers and the secretary and the rest. But everything about that political party is in his briefcase. So he's probably looking for somebody who will, who's looking for a platform to vie for, that office, and they sell. If there is no platform, he wants to negotiate with the popular one. You hear, SYZ party endorse the PDP candidate, ZYZ party endorse the APC candidate. And
that's happening even in this current election.
Yes,
some parties have endorsed.
Because some of these parties, if you're looking for their office, you won't find any. Some, their office is in the chambers of the founder or in his business office. So when you have such structure, what's the essence of keeping them in the ballot? Simply because, yes, the law says, you cannot regulate the registration of political party. Even because we are also not mindful of the danger when you have 90-something political party on a ballot. It's going to be stressful for even voters to select which one is which. Now we have come to the realization that we have 2 dominant parties. So we can have 5 political parties like we had during the Second Republic. You had the MPN, the UPN, the MPP, GMPP, NAP, and what's the name of this, the other political party again. So, but now every disgruntled person wants to go and form a political party and then keep it in his briefcase. The election time, they bring a candidate. Those candidates, you even hardly see any of them. You print a few posters by the corners, and you don't hear of them until on the day of the election.
But the big question here would be 3 parties.
I was shocked that a political party in the last, election petition I just did, I was shocked that a political party in a senatorial election will score 3 votes. Just 3 votes. And then you ask yourself, so this candidate, he doesn't have children who are of voting age. Or even if he doesn't have family members. Who even believe in him. 3
but
votes,
the big question will be that there's an alternative. I mean, why have 3 parties? Already we have so many parties, 2 are dominant. The alternative would be to have these parties, but the accreditation determination will be different. Some will be able to contest at local government levels, some at state levels. A few can then contest for the presidential election.
The best we can do, we can say,
or as many as
let's have independent candidates. Even if you have independent candidates, at the end of the day, you have 1,000 people wanting to vie for the presidency because the platform is open anyway. So, but like you had said, what we should do is look for every political party. A party that does not have the required spread should not contest at that highest level. And then if you are If you have the spread only at the state, then you can contest at the local government level and not come and play at the state level. Because when you somebody who has not left primary school cannot be aspiring to go to university. So you have a political party whose presence is only in a briefcase now wants to
sorry
now wants to vie for the highest office in the land. So I think there's need for us to truly and actually find what works for us and find a way of regulating some of these things, tweak them a bit so that it will not be this cumbersome the way it is. We know, yes, you want to open the feed, but we have opened the feed. The experiment has shown that truly most of these people do not go beyond, just their sitting room. And so why retain them in the ballot?
Let's give you an update now. APC Deputy Governorship candidate Edward Onoja is currently voting. Also, Philip Nwelize, we're trying real hard to connect with him. He's standing by there. The governorship candidate, who also was the governor, a past governor seeking re-election, Governor Yaya Bello, also voted at Agasa polling unit in Okene. The APC Deputy Governorship candidate also has is voting right now. That's Edward Onoja. There was a clash between both of them, Liboros. Both the governor and the deputy didn't seem to be on the same page. But here we are.
Are you talking about Edward now? Edward is the purported or the supposed, new deputy. The former one was what's his other name now? I've forgotten. Or that one, the one I still recognize as the deputy, because that impeachment that took place, for me, it's not an impeachment known to law. Yes, I would recognize Edward as running mate to the governor now in this election. But unfortunately, two things. Let me quickly this attitude of this sit-tight syndrome also played out in Kogi. You are a deputy governor, you do no longer share the same ideologies and belief with
your principal.
I think the best thing at that time would have been honorably say, look, you know what? I no longer share in this vision. It was supposed to be a joint ticket, so I step aside and go to pursue other things. You sat down there, you were stripped of all your responsibilities, including your salaries and your aids. You still remain there. What are you waiting for? You think that, you want to, that, okay, maybe someday God will come from somewhere. We are a very godly country. And then ask that all your salaries and allowances be paid. At least you've been in the office for at least 2 years. So whatever you have garnered from there, just quietly hold your head high and leave. But to want to remain there and die in that office until you are disgraced, for me, it's not the best. It shouldn't be our style of politics. We shouldn't be known for that kind of brand of politics. We should be known for at least, in Nigeria, they also would resign. But unfortunately, we are where we are. And so now, elections here, the attention also will be at the center. That's Lokoja and Yenogwa. The interiors, the villages that dot the landscape. Yes, a few reports will come from there. But in both of these places, the center will be relatively peaceful. Yeah, because you have heavy presence of police. But I can tell you, I will not guarantee insecurity in these other areas, in the interiors. These are places where they snatch ballot boxes. These are also what you will likely see today. You will hear that thugs went to disrupt voting in strongholds of opposition. So if because that's what they do, is technical rigging.
But you already said that even the security men will be wary of sending their people there.
Yes, so that's what I'm telling you.
They've been given free hand to do whatever they want to do.
The report would be at the center, Lokoja and Yenegwa. But the areas, if for example now you say, let's say in Bayelsa, for example, you say the stronghold of the APC, the PDP might send thugs to those areas to disrupt voting. knowing fully well that if you disrupt voting and voting is elections are cancelled in this area, it will be to their favor. And so what will happen would be, even if you go to court and say, well, my people were disenfranchised, the court will say, what's the guarantee that if all of them were allowed to vote, they will vote for you?
Right.
Or the APC might also send their talks to disrupt voting in some villages that are stronghold of the opposition. We see this thing play out,
regularly. Unfortunately,
it's
a continuing syndrome which we really, really need to stop. But let's take some calls right now before we head up for another break. If you want to join this conversation, we'll be reading your comments also from Facebook. We see you all, everyone joining us right now. Let's just take some calls. If you want to join us, here are the numbers.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
This is Nigeria Info. We are listening. If you'd like to join us, let's start from here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Wale. I'm calling from Yanowo right now.
Welcome, Wale.
Good morning, Libra.
Alex, I greet you. Good morning.
So excited to listen to your balanced views.
My pleasure.
Okay. What will happen, I believe will happen. For me, I want to be optimistic that the election will go on peacefully. Irrespective of the tension, because usually these isolated elections usually come with the attention, the brouhaha, the noise. We've had it from Edo to Anambra to different places. But at the end of the day, we still find a way to do the election. But my worry, Liberals, why is Bayelsa court, making pronouncement on a prayer that was not, delivered by the petitioner, particularly in the APC petition, that we had there, the candidates were disqualified, everybody was not disqualified. Meanwhile, that prayer was not made by anybody in that court. Why is the court giving an order on a prayer that was not made at all in that court? I want you to help me answer that question, please. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much, Wale. This is on your table.
The answer is obvious now. Like I said Enikin Logobri played into the hands of the opposition. As an opposition within his party, I think issues like that should have been resolved. Everybody cannot be governor. He also know very well, like I told a friend of mine when he said, I was shortchanged, my name was removed from the list, I won the primaries, and I told him, I said, the last time you went, somebody else won the primaries and they made you the candidate. So you already know that this is
so it's 10 by 10, so it can't be yours
outside now that should complain. For you as an insider that benefited from the same system,
you should just step back.
Or Enikin Logobri, when he was made a minister, some persons complained because they felt it ought not to have been him. So when at the end of the day, when that same process was skewed against him, he ought to have, involved the internal resolution mechanism of his party. By going to court, he would definitely play into the hands of the opposition, just like Magnus Abe played into the hands of the opposition in Rivers. And so once that happens, the opposition will throw spanner in the works. And so, not being the judge, I wouldn't know why a judge would be granting an order that was not requested for.
Right.
And
so, it looks like there will be a lot of questions even on that judgment.
That's why I can't answer that question directly. That how will you? Somebody says, please declare me winner of this process.
Of the primary, yeah.
Because from the primaries that was conducted, you now say, no, from what I'm seeing here, there's no primary at all. You're on your own. You just say, look, from what I'm saying, in fact, I cancel everything. Everybody should go. Knowing fully well that election is just 2 days away.
Let's take another call. Good morning. Sorry about that. Please try again. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
This is Prince Donaki from Badagry.
Welcome.
I quite appreciate the analysis of your guest. I wish that man could come on national radio to give this analysis so that the whole country can hear what he's saying.
The whole country is hearing.
Right. The whole country is hearing.
the Kogi election and the Bayelsa election, I'm disappointed that in this 21st century, Nigeria and Nigerians are yet to get it right. There's still a lot to be done. I don't know why election is not a do or die issue. See what happened to that woman in SDP and quite a number of other crises that are going on. I'm not sure there's going to be a successful election in these two states today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. It's still early in the morning. We're here to follow up. We can only hope that the elections will go as smoothly as planned.
That's a tall hope.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, ma. Yeah, good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, ma.
You're welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Christiana. I'm calling from AG.
Welcome, Christiana.
Yes, thank you, ma. And I'm from Kogi State.
Fantastic. Tell us what you think following these updates today.
Hello, Dudu.
Oh, hello, Dusa.
You're taking us home.
Yes. I'm very grateful and happy about this your program.
Thank you.
So I'm in Lagos here. I traveled down to my state like about 4 weeks back. I have a cousin there, and he's working with the local government area. And I've not been paid for so long, as a something month. And I was asking that how did they cope? And then why are they not complaining about that? People are not hearing it in the world.
Yeah.
They say, that they cannot try to, that they are scared, they are afraid. They cannot go out and say it.
They are afraid of what exactly?
They are afraid of, the governor, that if you just say anything, if you just speak out, that they're kind of afraid of him.
Oh.
What I found out there is as if the government have put them into fear and poverty. That's what I see. And I said, how do you survive? They said that she has farm, that she goes to her farm, and that's how she survives.
Wow.
So, I don't know.
Has she been paid now?
I can't say, because last I've heard her, she did not. She said that they have not paid her. And they paid like for months. I don't know. So this state is a very pathetic
this salary issue. It
right.
is.
Thank you so much, Christiana, for the update. Liboros, this fear, that everyone keeps talking about. What really is this?
Governors are emperor in Nigeria. We are very lucky in Lagos. We are lucky here. That's why we can sit down here and talk and criticize government.
The same government you voted
Yes,
for?
Lagos is more metropolitan. Go to some of these states, you dare not. From that station, you won't come out. I'm telling you. Governors are emperors. And so also, I am not also not surprised that, this from, my sister from Kogi saying that most of the workers are scared to even speak out.
Wow.
To say, look, because like they say, who will bail the cat? You come out to say we have not been paid, we're done too. Then there are consequences.
And there's nowhere for you to go. So
and then once it happens, the police says, and then they always have a willing to in police. Police will say, they might just even frame you up.
This is pretty alarming. We have Hadiza on the line. Liberos a minute. Hadiza, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Hadiza.
Yes, I'm from Kogi State as well.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you. To add to what the lady just said now, the thing is that the workers there are afraid of going out to protest because they might send dogs after them to kill them.
Wow.
People are actually afraid of their lives. And then, I don't know, the turnout for today, the thing is that even people in APC have decided not to vote for Yahaya Bello. So
well, we will know that after the elections,
it means that it was rigged. Because I'm telling you for a fact.
You can't know that for certain.
The APC, and they've decided that they're going to give their vote to another party. Anyone but Bello.
Well, the elections will tell us how that went. We really cannot say how the elections will go because no one spoke to everyone in Kogi State. So it's an election. Let's wait for it to play out.
Yeah, but also you can't rule out
Liberals, 1 minute. Someone is on the line now. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Frank. I'm calling from Yaba.
Welcome, Frank.
Yeah, I want to speak on the violence in Bayelsa State.
Right.
You see, I am not surprised because the way things are going on in this country, where elections have become a winner take it all, even when there are signs of rigging or malpractice. Now, in this country, a senator an electoral officer said the senator held him at gunpoint, and he was made to announce the result. Today, that senator is still there and at the National Assembly. Now, the court, who should be there to be the final arbiter, are not helping matters. Now, if you know that if you win at all costs, and when you get to the court, nothing will happen, what will make you not to rig? We know, for instance, that in this country, there is no way the court can remove a sitting president, even though the process through which he got there is wrong. So how do you expect people not to go through violence? I think the lead thing is for the electoral process. That is where we will start getting it right. If we go through the electoral process and the court will be made to align. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much for calling us, Frank. We have another caller waiting by. Good morning.
Good morning, Wemimo. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good morning.
God bless you for all you people exposed on that in this your station.
Thank you.
The truth is that...
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, my name is Ngozi. Please, I'm calling from Adewuni Jones.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say that what that lady said about salary from Kogi State is not just restricted to Kogi State. In every state, during the last election, there are some states that they had to go to polling booths with register. You must deliver your word, or you go from that place, don't come back to the office.
Wow.
So many things are happening to them, they can't speak, because if you do, you're in trouble. I don't understand what we're doing in Nigeria. God will help us. I just thank God that our leaders, the National Assembly, executive and whatever, they are listening and they know, but their selfishness will never help them to change. I pray that one day Nigerians will wake up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean,
that's a big prayer. Liberas, when will this day be?
Yeah, you see, I need to also not rule out the fact that, when people are scared or people are disgruntled, there is no limit to what they can do. They can decide to say, you know what, I would rather not vote, or I would want to vote for anybody but this one. You can't rule that out. Talking about the lady that called that said, look, so a lot of them are not happy. Because for somebody who's been on salary for 30 months, and you say, why are you still going to work? And the person says, well, I am scared because there are implications. And this is an opportunity for that person to say, look, I want to change the narrative. In some cases, just like Madam Ngozi just said now, they would deploy all special advisors and say, look, you must go and win your polling booth. Otherwise, it is a standard procedure for all state elections.
Wow.
You must win. In fact, in Edo State, the last election, the governor did say that anybody that didn't win his polling booth or ward, will not get appointments. And then people now started asking him, for the national election, you lost your polling unit also. So how come you're still the governor? So this thing is playing out everywhere. So that's why you see somebody who's a special advisor would want to do anything to ensure that he wins. If he's not winning, like we say in local parlance, if you don't let us chop, moku scatter up. So if he's not winning, let us spoil it. And then
so that the other person
also
doesn't
on
get
this
in.
issue of salaries, it has become, initially it started like a joke. States not being able to pay salaries, and then before you knew it, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 11 months, and then some governor will say, oh, no, I'm not owing 8 months, it's only 6 months. And I asked, what's the difference? We saw it play out in Oshun for all the tenure of Aregbesola. Now it's been compensated with a ministerial appointment. So it means that there is something fundamentally wrong with our states. They are not viable.
And now we're talking about the national minimum wage.
Yes, when states that couldn't pay 18,000, now we've jacked it up to 30. And yet the fund is the same. It means there is something fundamentally wrong about the state. Now, imagine you, after working, somebody paying you what your entitlement is that won't even take you far. He wants you to praise him as somebody who's paying salary.
And
Payment of salary now has become, dividends of democracy. I had a quarrel with a cousin of mine who is a local government vice chairman. He posted on Facebook, we are paid salary for August. We'll pay salary for me. I said, so now, payment of salary is something that you should be celebrating as an achievement.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is John from Yaba.
Welcome, John.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm from Kogi State.
Thank God, we love you. I'm very happy.
The Kogi people are calling now.
I'm telling you, it's very encouraging.
The contest in Kogi State, I think, is between the federal government and the people of
Kogi State.
Kogi. The federal government, as of course, they want their Yabelo to return to power. And Kogi people, they are against Bello. So the question is, Kogi is just a replica of Nigeria. We have 3 major tribes, which is Okun, the Yoruba speaking, Ebira, and Igala. So now Igala has been the dominant.
Yeah.
The Kogi State right from its inception.
Yeah.
So now it is Ebira that is there now,
yes.
And the federal government wants Yaya Bello, which is Ebira from Kogi East, to complete his 8 years. So after his 8 years, the thing will now move down to Kogi West, which is a Yoruba speaking.
Okun, yes.
But now, what is the probability that even though the PDP, the so-called PDP, if they get there, they will be better off? Because that was the same issue when this PDP man that want to contest, and his brother, Idris Wada, he was there that time. It was the same complaint everywhere in Kogi State. Now, Yaya left there. People voted for Bello, which was Audu that time. So Audu, at the verge of his victory, he died. They carried the mantles of the decision to Bello. So now, Bello got there, his own became worse. So what's the probability that this PDP man now that wants to that seeking for this election? What about that? If he gets there, his own will not be worse than
you know what my big question is that there are several parties. There are several parties in this election. Why are these? Why are we talking just about the two?
The two major parties that are well pronounced is PDP. Don't let us deceive ourselves.
But how about looking at what the other parties are offering? There are 23.
The two major. Don't let us deceive ourselves.
They don't have the funds to traverse the length and breadth of the state.
PDP and APC. So the problem now is that the issue is that the problem that Yabila has failed in Kogi State. I have not seen any governor or anybody that will come in and will be able to solve that problem. So I think the devil, I think is better than the angel you don't know.
There we go. Guys, there are 23 parties here in Kogi State, 45 in Bayelsa. When do we begin to talk about these other candidates?
The people are not ready. We as Nigerians, we are not ready for that alternative. We always end it with, it is well or the devil. But we forget that it's the same song that both the APC and the PDP would sing. Why don't we try some other fringe, party and see what
they're offering?
What they are offering. But the problem, quite unfortunate though, is the fact that these parties, election costs money. Let's not deceive ourselves.
Right.
These parties do not have the financial muscle to traverse the length and breadth of the state. Yes, you can be popular on Twitter and on Facebook, on Instagram, talk to a lot of people, but majority of these people, are they on ground to actually vote for you? Like you have a lot of people calling in from Lagos now, who are from Kogi, who also would want it to see a change, but they are in Lagos. They can't do anything. They can't change anything in Kogi except you go there, you become part of it.
And get your feet in the waters.
Exactly. And
let's
so
head
to
out
do
for
all of that, all of this,
it costs a lot of money. So we have to look at how to make elections less expensive, so that those who have the ideas and capacity to bring about the change.
It's always be expensive. Even abroad, it's very expensive.
And some people look at crowdfunding.
What we should do, crowdfunding, and then also ensure that we stop using government funds to run elections. So when you do that,
which gives advantage to those already in government.
Yes. So when you do that, you make it a level playing field for everybody, and not when you are in government, you deploy government resources.
Right.
And it is when you don't win and another party takes place, the EFCC will come after you. But if your party is still in power, like in
you just
case,
get over.
everybody will look the other way.
We're heading out for a break now. The phone lines are buzzing. When we come back, we'll take your calls and comment. Liberal Sharma, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure,
the live coverage is still on. Elections are going on in Kogi and Bayelsa states. Our correspondents are there in both states, spread out across different local governments and bringing us live feed from there. We've told you a lot of things happening there. When we come back, we'll take your calls and your comments again and head back again to Kogi and Bayelsa for more reports. I am Wemimo Adewuni. Stay with us. This might be quite a break, but we'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back
We're
back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see, oh, the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine. clouds go gray. The thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way. For the pouring of my blessings, I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. In the rain, it's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown, the Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. Can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me. Standing alone can be a heavy load, but my vows I won't be breaking. Though my heart is aching, I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. Once again, it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, the Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. Can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over, thought you were done with me, but we're just beginning. Whoa, my life is a journey. I will walk with you, I will go where you want me to. Yes, I will go. Come on.
destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
Foundation.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
As a people with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom rise and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all. Nigeria stand up. Nigeria stand up. Join me, say, yeah. What a great nation.
Two states, two destinies, two jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
Welcome back to your #1 talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info, election coverage studio.
We are back. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. Fantastic morning, but it is a very big day in Kogi and Bayelsa states. It is the day where the citizens decide who will govern them for the next 4 years. Elections going on in Kogi and Bayelsa states. We've been up here with the coverage since 8 a.m. and we're doing this throughout the day until results coming. That means throughout today, throughout tomorrow, and Monday, till we get the results in. So If you'd like to get the updates, this is where you should be listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Wemimo Adewuni. It's good to be here with you on this Saturday morning. I know Lagos, everyone's going about their businesses, all the Owambears are going on. But in these two states, they have a big decision to make. I'd like to remind you that there are quite a number of candidates in the elections in these two states. In Kogi State, there are 23 candidates. In Bayelsa, there are 45 candidates. I'll do a quick rundown of the names of the candidates and their parties. Let's start with Kogi State, because Bayelsa is pretty hefty, 45. This is the information from INEX page. The final list of candidates you have top on the page. For governorship position, Abdullahi Muhammad, deputy governor, Ebitoye Roslyn Abosede, deputy governor. Their party has the acronym. I'll just read out the acronym of their parties. The acronym is A. And the next candidate for governorship position, Muhammadul Kabir Abdul Wasiu, AAC, is deputy governorship candidate. Umar Abdurrahman Ibrahim, also AAC. Okay, let me tell you their ages. The first person for the position of governor, the candidate, Abdullahi Muhammad, is 49-year-old. His proposed deputy governor, Ibitoye Roslyn, is 51 years old, female. The next candidate for governorship in that state, Muhammadul Kabir Abdul Wasiu from the AAC, is 49 years old also. His proposed deputy governor, Umar Abdurrahman Ibrahim, is 39. Another candidate for governorship, Medipin Ephraim from AD, is 55 years old. His proposed deputy governor, Jibrain Muhammad Tenimu, also from AD, is 37 years old. Another governorship candidate, Justina Dolapo Abanida from the ADC, is 61 years old, female. Her proposed deputy governor, Ibrahim O. Yusuf, is 69 years old. Next candidate, governorship, Ndako Abdurrahman Tanko from ADP, is 50 years old. His proposed deputy governor, also from ADP, is Tukura Joseph Jimba, 43 years old. Next candidate for the Kogi governorship election, Orogun Emmanuel Orunrun Mowaju from ANRP, is 45 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Hamid Sahid Baba, also from the ANRP, is 40 years old. Next governorship candidate, Bello Yaya, for the position of governor from the APC, is 44 years old. Well, interestingly, they all have their home addresses on this annex list. His own address reads Kogi State Government House, Lokoja, Kogi State, of course, because he is the outgoing governor. His proposed deputy governor, Onoja Edward David, also from the APC, is 45 years old. His address also reads Kogi State Government House, Lokoja, Kogi State. The next candidate for the position of governor in Kogi State, Ibrahim Jibril Sheikh from Abga, is 42 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Durojaye I. Hassan, also from Abga, is 49 years old. Next candidate, governorship, Bello Williams Dele from GDPN, is 46 years old. His proposed deputy governor, Suleiman Mohammed, is 53 years old, also from GDPN. All right, let's move it up. Look at the next candidate for governorship position this morning. Victor Akubo from GNP party is 45 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Muhammad Rabi Bella Ladidi, also from GNP, is 43 years old, female. Next governorship candidate, Abdul Malik Adama Muhammad from HDP, is 55 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Adeboye Samuel Olu, also from HDP, is 38 years old. Next governorship candidate, Alpha Amos Aboy from the party called JMPP. He's 47 years old, and his proposed deputy governor, Olayemi Olakule Emmanuel, also from JMPP, is 52 years old. Next governorship candidate this morning, Kogi State, Jimo Amodu Yusuf from Maja. You can call this party Maja. That's Maja. Is a male and is 38 years old. His proposed deputy governor, Awoniyi Oyewole Omotaya Sunday, also from Maja, is 58 years old. Next governorship candidate, Mohammed Ibrahim Dangana from NCP, is 40 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Umar Abdulaziz Osman Odegiri, also from the NCP, is 39 years old, male. Next governorship candidate, Musa Atayiwada from the PDP, 57 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Samuel Bamidele Aro, also from the PDP, is 48 years old. The next candidate, Ukumonu Joseph Idachaba from the party called PPN, is 49-year-old male. His proposed deputy governor, Issa Karimu Yakubu from PPN, also is 61 years old, male. Next governorship candidate in Kogi State this morning, from PPP, Moses Itodo Drisu. He's 52 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Sule Issa Obewa, PPP, also 44 years old, male. Another candidate coming up at number 35 on the annex list is Ayodele Raymond Ajibola from PRP. He's 49 years old, male. And his proposed deputy governor, who's also a candidate in this election, Tahir Yakub, also from PRP, is 46 years old. We also have another candidate for governorship position, Abdurazak Baba Emeji from UDP. He's 46 years old. And his deputy governorship candidate is Onemayin Paul Oluwole, also from UDP, 55 years old. Another governorship candidate this morning, Abu Sunday Omogami from UPC. He's male, 55 years old. His deputy governor is also male, 46 years old, from UPC, and his name is Yakubu Issa. Another candidate, Shaibu Sani Seidi from YDP, 59 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Onimisi Adedayo Benson, also from YDP, and he is 38 years old, male. Okay, are you following me, guys? It's a long list, but Bayelsa's list is longer, so just wait for this. Another candidate in the election for governorship this morning in Kogi State, Aisha Abubakar Audu, female from YPP, 51 years old. Her proposed deputy governor, Suleiman Ozigi Ahmed, also from YPP, is 54 years old, male. Another governorship candidate, Suleiman Muhammad Mikhail from ZLP, is 38 years old, male. And his proposed deputy governor, Alice Omolara Olorugbo, also from ZLP, she's 35 years old. All right, that's a full list of the candidates for governorship and deputy governorship positions in the elections ongoing right now in Kogi State. And also from Bayelsa, there are quite a number of contestants this morning that the citizens would have to decide who they will be voting for today. I'll run quickly through that list again if you just sit back and let me tell you the names of these candidates. Let me start off Bayelsa State. Okay, this is INEC's final list of candidates, and the first person on this list, INEC's list, is Ebezimo Diriye, who is 49 years old, and his party's acronym here is A, and he's male. The deputy governor is Dangosu Makostin McLean. He's, of course, male, 62 years old. Next candidate, Bayelsa governorship election today. Kalango Stanley Davis from ASC, 39 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Nathaniel Eregwade Abuli, also from ASC, 40 years old, female. The next governorship candidate, Bayelsa election this morning, Owetongu Woniwe, 49 years old, from AD, male. And his proposed deputy governor is also male, 45 years old, also from AD, Ikeinka Genesis Doikumo, for the position of deputy governor. Next on the list, we have for governorship position Bayelsa State, Felaga Adika Patrick from ADP, 35 years old male. For deputy governor, his candidate is Tubo Ebitiene, who is 35 years old, female from ADP. All right, let's move it on. We have another governorship candidate, Fayo Fori T. Bob Manuel from Agap, who is 42 years old from Agap. That's a party. And his proposed deputy governor is Ebimene Solomon Shankar, who is also from Agap, 40 years old male. Governorship candidate, another one from ANP, 56 years old male, Kunde Noah. His proposed deputy governor, Furo Tautogu Kema, also from ANP, 42 years old male. Next candidate this morning slugging it out in Bayelsa State right now for governorship position, Abe E. Daniel from APA, that's a party. He's 43 years old. His proposed deputy governor is Weleke Enebi Waikumo S, also from APA, 42 years old female. Next candidate on this list, Leon David Perewo Rimini, also from APC, 49 years old. His proposed deputy governor, Bio Barakuma Degi Eremenyo, also from APC, 60 years old, male. Another governorship candidate today, Daniel Tonworo Benwari from APGA, 44 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Egbe Rose Pamela, female, 59 years old, also from APGA. We have another person on the list, Eres Ase Megba Oruma from APM, 67 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Anthony Onyibrakemi Sunday Fumpede from APM, also 52 years old, male. Another governorship candidate, Samuel Izibeya Madu Dandy Job from APP, 37 years old. And he's from APP Mill. His deputy governor, Ogoniba Rufus Wisa Ziba, also from APP, 48 years old, male. Another governorship candidate, Awotu Oniekpe ASD from ASD Party, 39 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Akanga Ebiki Bibo Davids, also from ASD, male, 37 years old. You can see it's a mix of all ages. I mean, across you have those who are over 60, those in their 30s, those in the 40s, being represented here. Another governorship candidate was Sele Anthony, the party called DA, 42 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor is Sula Eburuku, also from the party called DA. He's 47 years old. Another governorship candidate from DPC, 47 years old, female, is Seyefa Fetepigi Eches. That's from DPC party. And also we have his proposed deputy governor, Moses Felix Bolukumo, also from DPC, 58 years old, male. Another governorship candidate, Oguara Nengi Monyo from DPP. He's 37 years old, 37-year-old old female, and her proposed deputy governor is also 37 years old from DPP, Egule Kamesuo Roland. You find that from DPP. Another party represented here is FJP, and the governorship candidate is Akosi Pius, 40 years old, male. His proposed deputy governor, Imomo Timi Werede, also from FJP, is 40 years old, male. Next governorship candidate, Priye Benson from Fresh Party, 43 years old, male here. And the proposed deputy governor is Kerema Eneni Mercy Judge, female, also from Fresh Party, and she is 43 years old. If you see another candidate here from GNP, Zidoga Gideon Roland Eneyi, 47 years old male, is proposed deputy governor. Talbot John McLean, also from GNP, 52 years old. Next governorship candidate. This is pretty a long list coming in from Bayelsa. I hope all my teeth don't fall off before I finish. It's a long list. Timipa Jenkins Okponipere, HDP, 45 years old male, is proposed deputy. Ato Alfreda Alajiki, female, 38 years old. Ewebo Freedom is a governorship candidate from KP, is 40 years old male, and his proposed deputy governor is Golden Maxine Agago Way, also from KP, 43 years old male. Next governorship candidate, Wija Eldred Opwama, LP, that's a LM rather, that's a party, 38 years old male, is proposed deputy governor. Ide Franklin Bokolo, LM, also 37 years old male. Guys, let me just take a break on this one. I'll run you through the other names in a moment. It's still several pages long. So the question is, we have so many parties represented in the election in both states, yet the conversation, I mean, you hear citizens just talk about two major parties. And my question here is, why aren't we talking about the other parties? Liboras told me earlier on that most of these other parties don't have the funds to be able to push themselves to be seen and be known across these states. So question is, where are they? Why are people not talking about them? I'll let you be a part of this conversation. If you want to call, here are the numbers.
On 012770993, 012771993, 012772993, and 012773993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
All right, Nigeria, why do we just have two major parties being talked about all the time? Why aren't it? I mean, look at the long list I've given you. Even my mouth aches. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. Sorry about that. Please try again. Good morning. Try again too. Good morning. Oh, what's going on with the numbers? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Maxwell.
Your name is?
Maxwell.
Maxwell, where are you calling from?
I'm calling right now from...
From where?
Ajao Estate, Lagos.
Ajao Estate, you're welcome. So what do you think? Why don't we look at the other parties?
The thing is that two party has been exist for a long time. This one is a new party that have just registered. And if Nigeria understand themselves, we're supposed to have two parties only.
Two parties only?
Yes, so that we can be able to know who to follow up. But these plenty parties are doing, in fact, are bringing confusion into the country. And there are new parties, understand me? And the INEC itself is corrupt. It's not supposed to register all these parties. It's supposed to have two parties.
So you would support that we have just two political parties? That would suit you?
Yes, that would be enough for us.
Well, that's what you think. Let's hear another caller. Good morning.
Hello, Wemimo. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you too?
Very well. This is Chukwebuka from Shomolu.
Welcome, Chukwebuka.
Wemimo, you see, there's no point. I mean, that's from my own point of view. There's no point, deceiving ourselves. I think they should just narrow this thing down to just two parties or three. I mean, from the last presidential election and the governorship election, we all saw what happened. I mean, we have a party that has just how many people, 10, 15, 20. What's the point? You see, these parties, should merge with other parties and let's just do that in Nigeria. We have two-party system, and that will be it.
Wouldn't that then reduce your options, your choice?
When it will, quite, I understand, but then, when you are the one reading out the names now, I'm sure you're tired already.
I'm not even done. I'm not done.
From all indications, I was listening to you. You were tired already.
Oh.
But Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Chukwuebuka. I'm not even done. I think I'm halfway. Okay, just I'm past halfway through the Bayelsa list. Oh, goodness. It's quite a mouthful. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. What's your name?
My name is Victor. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Welcome, Victor. What do you think? Do we reduce the parties? Do you think this will suit you?
Reducing party is not what I want to comment on. What I want to comment on is the question you said, why the two is pronounced than the others.
Right.
So the issue is that the people in APC and the people in PDP, they are no different. They are the one PDP ruled Nigeria for 16 years. They hand over to APC, and APC are the ruling party. Now you can see why the two party is being pronounced than the others party. So they are the ones recycling since how many years now? They are the ones recycling. So the other ones they are trying to come. To me, they will have give chance to the other ones.
Oh, you're asking them to step aside for the newer parties?
Yes.
But you know that's not possible.
It's not possible because we don't have democracy in Nigeria.
Oh,
That's
no,
why it's not
exactly
possible.
what you're proposing is not a democracy. If you're asking the other parties not to contest because there are other parties.
What is the effect? What is the effect?
Shouldn't we turn this over and say that the electorate should look at the other parties? I mean, it's an election. You can vote whoever you want.
You can vote whoever you want. But why is it only the two parties being pronounced? Even here, it's not only on your own station. So many stations are saying PDP and APC, not only here. So why is it only two parties? For how many years now?
You have thrown the question back to me. And I hope I'm able to answer. Let's head out for a very quick break. The phone lines are buzzing. I'll be back to take your calls on this one. I mean, maybe I'll read you through the other names if you guys are not tired. I'll just take a breather, but it's a long list. This is INEC's final list of candidates for Kogi and Bayelsa State. You can find it on INEC's website right now. So if you want to join this conversation, that will be after the break. We'll be back to take your calls. You can also join us because we are live on Facebook, also on YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. Join us on all of these platforms. I am Wemimo Adewuni. We'll be back shortly.
More talk, news, and sports after this. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info Election Coverage Studio, and we are back, yes, on this conversation. If you're just joining us, you miss out on a lot because the studio opened at 8 a.m. and we'll be here with you throughout the day. I'll be doing this till 12 o'clock, and then Sheriff will be with you in the afternoon hour, and Mr. Rotimi will be with you through the evening. Tomorrow morning, we'll do this all over again, starting at 8 a.m. throughout the day. If the results are in, great. If not, we'll continue and give you updates on Monday morning. So remember the conversation. I've given you several names and political parties contesting in the elections, and I'm asking you the big question: why do we have Nigerians talk about just two major political parties? I know they are major parties, but why aren't electorates looking at other parties, or are they looking at these parties and we don't know? Why are the two parties more pronounced always during elections? Are we asking questions from these quote-unquote minor parties about what they have to offer? If not, why not? If you'd like to join us, we're streaming live on Facebook, also on YouTube right now. You can watch us and leave us your comments and thoughts. If you'd also like to reach us on Facebook, right on Twitter, is at Nigeria Info FM. For the phones, here are the numbers again.
Call us on 012770993, 012771993, 012772993, and 012773993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Yes, we are listening. Remember the first number, 012770993, is for female callers only. So if you're not female, don't call that number, 012770993, female callers only. And we would love to hear from you. Good morning.
Yeah, Wemimo.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Chukwebuka. It's my candid opinion is this. All these other parties, I experienced this or saying this from the last gubernatorial and presidential, like I said earlier. Even the INEC chairman and INEC officials, when they were relaying out these names as a result, so at a point in time, they got tired. I mean, it's of no use having a party that will just have 15, 20 members and whatnot. But if they really want to wrestle power from these big parties like the PDP and the APC, they can as well come together and strategize. I mean, they have what it takes, but they can all come together. They should look into it properly. It is not enough to have 1 million parties and then you have just one vote, two votes. If we are tired of these big parties, like we all know that some of us are tired, please let us advise these other parties to merge together, become formidable, and then I could tell you for free that they will get results, or they will get results. That's my candid opinion.
You're asking some of those parties to merge. Well, that's Chukwebuka's thoughts. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning to you. What's your name? Can you speak louder, please? Uche, I'm sorry, you might have to call again. I can barely hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Mr. Dennis. Morning.
Welcome to the show. Good morning. It's an election coverage studio. What do you think about our parties?
The thing is getting so much parties. Why can't us have a two-party system?
Do you really want a two-party system? Wouldn't that limit your choices?
Yeah. Two is enough. Two is okay.
Two?
Because all these parties, okay, you can see yourself. You are tired already. You are tired. Calling.
So I had to leave you guys to read the rest on my next website.
Please, help us to talk to INEC for them to reduce it. It's too much.
Well, thank you so much for calling. The question there would be, wouldn't that reduce your choices? That's what a democracy is about, that you can make choices. Some have offered the opinion that we could have parties contesting at different levels. So if your reach, just for the local government, you contest there. If you have the reach and capacity at the state level, you contest there. Not every party, that's a suggestion, that not every party should be able to bring forth candidates for governorship elections and presidential elections, you stay within your reach. How many people can you reach? Some have said, go get signatures of citizens who recognize you. And based on that, you say, so we have parties that operate at local government levels, those that operate at state levels, and those that operate at federal. But saying that we should have a two-party system, do you really think that would work out fine? Good morning.
Hello.
All right. Put off your radio and please call us again. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
This is Michael calling from Lagos.
Welcome, Michael. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking that we are not practicing democracy in this country at all.
So what are we practicing? Oh, that's all. Okay. Thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
My name is Abraham and I'm calling from Adewuni.
Welcome, Abraham. What do you think?
Okay, I think that the party is too much. We should cut it to one party.
One party. Wow.
Yes.
You've turned the table upside down.
One party.
So everyone will have no choice. I mean, that party just continues. That's no longer a democracy because you don't have a choice.
Before we even elect the party, you should give us their plans and let me just say their motto.
But they all do. All of these parties have their mottos. All of them have their campaigns. All of them have their rallies. Most of them have websites where they talk about what they plan to do. The question is, are citizens even looking at these other parties?
The two parties that are here now, they are suppressing the rest of the party, and they have something good to offer. So those two big parties now, they don't have anything to offer. They are suppressing those other parties.
Thank you for sharing your thought. That's what you believe. Good morning.
Good morning, Mawuma.
Morning to you.
How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
This is Mr. Friday Namani calling from Satellite Town.
Welcome to the show.
Well, the issue of these other two parties always dominating. In fact, I have to say that the fault is from us, the electorate.
Right.
We are at fault because knowing fully well that these people have been there, always recycling themselves, always. So if other parties float in good candidates, and we are not practicing this money bag politics, we should look in there and forget about PDP or APC and vote for people who feel that these candidates will do something for us, and not possibly or always looking at PDP or APC, because I think we have tested them and they have not offered us anything. That is my own opinion.
But the question then is, why are we not looking at those other parties who are presenting themselves and who have candidates? You listen to all of these parties: MMN, MPN, LP, NCP, NDLP, NNPP, PDM, PPA, UDP, UP, UPC. There's a host, ASD, AGAP, ANP. I mean, there's a host of parties, and they are presenting candidates, and they're saying we can do the job. Voters in, we can do it. But are we really even considering them? Good morning.
Good morning. Well, you said the question is what Friday calling back.
Oh, welcome, Friday.
Yeah, you said the question that was saying that the PDP and APC dominating the election in Nigeria is because of the voters not even minding that these people have nothing to show. They share their money, make their empty promises. But if we are to look into the other parties, their manifesto and what they stand to give to us, and forget about these two major parties, and look the other way around. You understand? Okay, look at an educated man like Shuore, whom everybody knows that he is an activist and knows what he stands to do for us. During the last election, everybody overlooked him and still went and voting for PDP and APC. You understand? These people that we have been starting and they have disappointed us for this number of years. Nobody think about these people. Nobody think about obvious and other educated technocrats that have come out to campaign. Nobody talk about them because we are giving them the chance to continue fooling us. That's what I'm saying. We keep on giving them the chance to continue to fool us. Where you will leave somebody that has something upstairs, somebody that can, that can carry the country forward, and then vote for somebody that will take us into our grave. So that is the issue.
So the question is looking at the manifestos and what they truly have to offer. Or do you all think that the manifesto is not enough? If they have manifestos and they have presented their plans, do Nigerians really look at manifestos? I mean, many of you have said that most of these two major parties have the funds and capacity to reach out to more people. Does it mean that we like parties that have the funds? Does it mean that we like parties that are big, that we feel like we can be a part of, and those small parties are just too small or too new, that we're not truly concerned about the details of what they're offering? What really is the issue? Don't you think there's a lot that citizens can also do in promoting these parties if they have something to offer, to look into their manifesto? Do we even look at the manifestos of political parties at all? Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Good morning.
You are doing a very nice job. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Amen.
Austin calling from Lekki.
Welcome, Austin.
Our major problem is not the political parties, but the electorate. We have a lot to do in our life if we really want to get it right in this country. Because if we keep on voting depending on the two political parties, it will not take us to the promised land. We need to try the new political parties and watch out in their manifestos what they are there to what they are bringing on board. But all of us are heading towards one particular lane because this political party A has all it takes to take infrastructure. We will get it right in Nigeria. Except we do that, we'll continue to leverage on this political party who take us for granted on year in, year out.
All
It's
right.
our time our Nigerians will wake up from our slumber and try other political parties. If you like, let us have 1,001 political parties. It all depends on us. If we say we want to change this country, we will change it and we will galvanize it and move on with other political parties.
All right. Thank you very much for calling us. Let's see who's here. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Wemimo.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
You're doing a great job. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You see, one thing I observe is that it seems we don't know what we want in Nigeria. And the Nigerians too don't know who to support. And because of these, let me use the power oppressing politicians. Are you getting me?
Yes, I can hear you.
When they oppress us and they know what we want, we follow them. And that's the reason that we only have the two major parties that is ruling our country. And then the way this guy walked, Shore, the way the guy walked in this last presidential election, they will not let that. That's why the guy's been oppressed. Anyone that will come out from another party that's why, people that they were talking, they know why they're saying that. Okay, let's just narrow it to two parties. Because we know that the mindset of these people is that they want to continue ruling us. They want to continue being in charge. They want to continue, and taking charge of the whole system. But for us to fight the system, it is a system. We are fighting against system. We don't have democracy. We have a system that is running in this country. And which is corruption. And no one can fight the corruption if you are not ready to fight the main people that are in charge, that are, polluting the system. And
So why exactly? Well, we have other options. That's the question. There are options.
Yes.
Why are Nigerians not looking at those options if they don't like the ones that they have now?
I didn't get that again. Please. Come again.
If these two parties, and many of the callers have said they don't really like the two major political parties, but why are they not looking at the other options available? There are so many other options available.
Yes, we are looking up to that. But let me tell you what happened. The last election, I was there, and I witnessed it. These guys, even though you voted for all these guys, they will rig it. You see, that is the reason why some people say, what is the essence of we? Because these people have the power. They have the power to oppress us.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me hand it there. Judges Mark Nobusin is standing by in Kogi State. Let's head back to Kogi quickly and give you an update from there. Judges, good morning again.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Very busy day in Kogi and Bayelsa. It's also busy for us here in Lagos as we keep the updates coming up. Where in Kogi are you now? How's it going?
As we speak now, we're on our way to Ayetoro. That is the constituency of Senator Dino Milaye.
Okay.
Before now, we had covered Okei local government, Adabi local government, and Okene local government. And when you called me earlier, we saw the scene where at a polling unit 5, where the voting has not started. But I can assure you now that we went back to all of these places before we moved to. Before we started going to Ayetoro Bede, and voting has commenced in all of these places, in all of these 3 local governments that we covered so far.
Fantastic. What's the impression there? What's the turnout like? Are people coming out to vote? What are they saying about the conduct of the election today?
My sister, the turnout was massive.
Wow.
It was massive. The people, they came out en masse. In fact, the issue of security threats, violence, and all that, crisis, the pre-election violence that people were thinking that were going to cause they may cause apathy, voter apathy, did not really affect this election in this local government that we have actually covered so far.
That's awesome. You also witnessed, we got reports earlier on that the governor of Kogi State, who is seeking re-election, had voted, same as the deputy governorship candidate. They both have voted. What did they say when they were voting? What was the reaction of people if you were there?
Yes, we missed the governor exercising his franchise by a split second because, I was with you on air, so at a large extent we missed him because we were a polling unit away from him where he actually voted. So, but he has voted and he has finished addressing the crowd when we got there. But we were able to get the pictures and that we sent. But we were able to gather from our colleagues what he said. He actually expressed confidence in the process, and he also urged the security agencies to ensure that the process is free and fair and credible, and that the people's safety is very, very paramount.
Some of the reports we got from Bayelsa earlier on showed us that there was some pockets of violence in some areas, and then security forces came in to quieten those areas. Did we get any reports of such in Kogi State?
Yes, the only report that we have gotten now is where we are going now at Ayetoro at the constituents, at the polling unit of Senator Dino Milaye, where we got information that Goodluck actually visited the polling unit and they tried to disrupt the exercise. So we're on our way there. We'll soon get there. We're about getting there. So we'll bring you more reports when we get there.
Right, absolutely. We'd like to connect with you again. Judges, thank you very much. Please stay safe.
Thank you, Wemimo.
All right. We'll be reaching back again to Philip Nweli and Judges Mark Nobson. They are in Kogi State. We have Judges Joshua Rogers and Soibi Wuribi in Bayelsa, and they'll also be giving us footages and updates shortly. Let's go back to our conversation. Many political parties. I'm not sure if I should continue reading this list, but I think I'll just summarize and tell you the names of the other parties in the Bayelsa election today for governorship and also deputy governorship candidates. We have LP, MMN, MPN, NCP, NDLP, NNPP. We have PDM, PDP, of course, PPA, UDP, UP, UPC. We also have, UPN, ZLP, UPP, PPP, PRP, SNC. You have NPC, NRM, NUP. Okay, and there you go. Remember that we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. You can watch us there right now and leave us your thoughts on this conversation. Let me read some comments from Facebook. Uche Marvin says, good morning. I concur with one of the previous callers. If we want to practice the United States system of government, I think we should seek... well, your sentence is not complete, but I think you mean we should ask them to guide us through. All we need is a two-party system. No, there are more than two parties. Okay? And saying all... okay, two-party system both in the state governorship and presidential elections, with the exception of local government elections. Engineer Suleiman Muhammad Anka says Kogi East APC zonal chairman has just been arrested with an AK-47 rifle. That's a report we're getting from Engineer Suleiman Muhammad Ankpa. We can't confirm that right now, but he's giving us a report that Kogi East APC zonal chairman has just been arrested with an AK-47 rifle. We can't confirm that right now, but we hope to be able to do that for you just in a moment. Let me see if I can get more comments in before we go back to the phones on Facebook. Dennis Jr. says, well done, Nigeria Info, for giving us situation reports for Kogi and Bayelsa elections. Thank you. Sir Ufomanefe Lexis says, we're with you 24/7. Thank you for being there. Well, we're bringing you these updates live. Justin T. Yoleman is watching us live from Magodo GRA Phase 2. Thank you. I see you all on Facebook. Thank you there. Valentine Ojo is watching us from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Akelibo John says, good morning, Nigeria Info. Kogi State Governor should stop deceiving us. We Kogi people, oh, you're from Kogi, people... we Kogi people, his time is over. Well, the elections will decide that. That is why there is an election. Okay, that's why there is an election. Abor Jabir Ibn Shehu Baba on Facebook says, good morning, Wemimo. It is a great day listening to your commentary on the election via Kogi State. People over there should shun violence and chaotic attitude. We all hope so too. Let's get back to the phones. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is I Square Okori. I'm calling from Majo.
Welcome.
Yes, I want to contribute on a way to, ensure that we have a good party that will rule the state or country.
What did you say?
I say now, for us to, get other parties to be in power, we need to have electronic voting. It's electronic voting.
Yeah, right.
Electronic voting. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, it is an electronic voting system that will enable us to vote for somebody that has that competence, that good character and quality to be there. Because this kind of system provide employment for thugs and courtists, to come into the following needs. And people are being afraid of voting for the right people or person. So the electronic voting will help so that anybody from any party that is has that character, that sense of that obligation and quality to lead can emerge and be in position. Thank you so much.
You have made a fantastic point. Electronic voting might help reduce tension in the air and encourage more people to go vote for those that they truly choose. Okay, that's a fantastic comment that we've gotten right there. Let's head back. Let's go to Bayelsa State, if you wish. Let's speak with Soibi, who is reporting for us from Bayelsa State. Soibi, good morning. Very, very full morning it is. Tell us what's going on in Bayelsa now. What has happened in the past few hours?
Yes, scattered across the community, Opolo, Panchi, and all of that. Some voting and accreditation started, genuinely. Some areas experience little issues. Particularly in Opolo, there was a serious issue, like some political dogs loyal to a particular party.
We apologize for the quality of that audio. Let's get back Soibi on another line and get him clearer so that we can get the reports better. But we need to head up for a break now. Very short break it is. This is Election Coverage Studio 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we'll keep you updated all day, throughout the day, till midnight today. Yes, we'll be doing this till midnight. I would let you know how the elections will be going today. So follow us on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching right now on Facebook, you can see pictures from some of the polling units as people are voting right now from Kogi State, especially. This picture is coming in, this footage is coming from Kogi State. You can see security men also there, people lining up and queuing to cast their votes. Quite an impressive turnout, you might say, at some of these polling units. Head over to Facebook so you can watch us live right there. Okay, let's see if we have Soibi back. Hello, Soibi.
Yes.
Hello, Soibi.
Yes.
All right, welcome back. Line is better now. Continue. You were giving us an update from Bayelsa.
Yes. Okay, so as of when I left some of the units, voting and accreditations have started in NS. In fact, I just left one of the largest units, one of the largest centers where about 8 units are scattered across, and voters were seen doing accreditation and voting at the same time. The place called Marata School Field, primary school field. There's about 8 units from that community, and all of them, all the voters are scattered across, trying to locate their names and do at the same do accreditation and at the same time voting. Though there are little issues, I gather that some of the smart cards developed issues. They weren't able to capture some of the voters, but the exercise is going on smoothly. The few time I spent there, there was no crisis that I witnessed. But I just add that in Unit 2, where I left, where the center of drama played out the earlier hours of today, it has worsened, and I'm going to the place where security personnel agencies have taken over the place in Unit 2, in Oketutu, in Ward 5, in Opolo, Rack, where some suspected thugs, loyal to both APC and PDP, as they mentioned, because the person mentioned their names to me. So I'm driving down to that place to find out and see things for myself. So the place has been taken over by the security, and voters have camped for their life. Some areas I visited earlier, election materials are yet to arrive. Both ad hoc staffs and election materials were yet to arrive at the time I left the place.
What time was that?
That was around 10. That was around 10.
2 hours behind schedule.
10. Yes. So, though I didn't see any INEC official to explain the reason for the delay, but from my own speculation, it may not be unconnected with the activities that took place at Opolo Rack, where majority of the election materials are stored to dispatch it to some of the units in that area, because some boys came with arms to disrupt activities in one of the units, and the police took over, the security personnel took over, and all the thugs left the place.
Did they arrest any of these thugs?
As at when I left, they have not arrested anybody. But I saw them running away, because I also had to scamper for my life, because they did not allow me to enter into the center. It was when the security agencies came that I had access to find out what actually happened. I spoke with an observer, a local observer, who narrated our ordeal and what happened to one of our colleagues where they stabbed him. And the police officer that I spoke to also confirmed the same, but expressed fear that due to the absence of the security in that environment, the voters may be still apprehensive to participate because the boys could come from holes that the security could areas that the security personnel could not have access to. So he actually told me that he has told them that they should come into the environment proper and not to stay on the at the express road and trying to wage war for them, but they should come inside because that will give confidence to the voters.
But you know that they cannot take firearm at certain distance to the polling units. They need to stay away.
Yeah, the situation at hand at that polling unit, called for reinforcement in my own judgment, because all voters were seen standing outside trying to watch what is happening. Because I moved around the environment, I saw pieces of bottles, particles of bottles, blood, where some person witnessed some lethal injury. So I think from what the security has told me, it demands for reinforcement in that environment.
Right. So, Ebi, please stay safe. We'll get back to you again for more updates shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Ebi, we'll be right there in Bayelsa State. Let's head out for a break. When we come back, we'll come back to take your comments and your thoughts. We're live on Facebook, where you can reach us right now and leave us your thoughts. We're also on Twitter. We'll be taking some Twitter comments also after the break. Also on YouTube, we're there, Nigeria Info 993. If you want to reach us over the phones, we'll give you the number when we come back from this break. We'll be also giving you more updates from Kogi State. Philip Nweli is sending in reports for us also from there. I am Wemimo Adewuni. We'll be back shortly after the break. Join us again.
2 states, 2 destinies, 2 jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your #1 news, talk, and sports station.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to your number one talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Two states, two destinies, two jobs, and the huge weight of expectation from over 1 million voters will help define the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. And Nigeria Info will be right there through the campaign, election day, and the announcement of results. Join Nigeria Info's 360 coverage of the polls from 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of November, and Sunday, 17th of November. Our team of reporters will provide live interviews and feeds on radio and social media platforms, all in real time. Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station.
Welcome back, 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's a good morning right here in Lagos, and it's D-Day in Kogi and Bayelsa State, where it's going all down today, and the people will be deciding who would be leading them for the next 4 years. Well, our correspondents are across those two states, bringing us updates, moving from one end to another at those places to give us what's going on. Right now, former President Goodluck Jonathan is voting at Ochoke in Bayelsa State at his polling unit. He's currently at the polling unit voting. Former President Goodluck Jonathan is currently at his polling unit together with his wife to vote in the election in Bayelsa State. Former President Goodluck Jonathan and Patience Jonathan are currently on the line. In fact, at the polling booth, close to the polling booth actually, to cast their vote in Bayelsa State right now. We had this conversation going on about why we have so many parties, 45 candidates in Bayelsa, 23 in Kogi State. Yet the question and the conversation is about Nigerians looking at other parties, looking at other candidates and asking all the right questions. Do we ask the right questions of these candidates? What really? So you're going to tell me in this next line of conversation, what really do you look out for when you're choosing your candidate in an election? What really do you look out for when picking, when choosing a candidate? Former President Goodluck Jonathan and his wife, Patience Jonathan, looking all regal and lovely, ready to cast their vote in Otoke, Bayelsa State. Remember that we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. You can join us on any of those platforms that you like. You can also reach us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We'll be taking more of your calls now. Tell us, what do you look out for when you are choosing a candidate? We're taking this as a reflection of what's going on currently in Kogi and Bayelsa State. We had these conversations also during the general elections, and it doesn't look like anything has changed. Over 66,000 policemen deployed for elections. Our elections are yet to be the best that they can be. In some countries, people just from on their way to work, step by to vote, head on to work, and wait for the results. But here, it looks like we need to slug it out. We've been getting reports from Bayelsa State about violence in those areas. Patient Jonathan is looking really lovely, I must tell you, by the way, dressed in red, while former President Jonathan wears his white with his hat as usual. And he right now is being accredited, getting ready to cast his vote in Otoke, Bayelsa State. If you'd like to join us right now, if you don't have the numbers, you should have them, by the way, but again, here they are.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Yes, we are listening because we love to hear from the female callers. Also, we have a line for you, and that number is 01277-0993, 01277-0993. The report Soibi gave us earlier shows that in many places in Bayelsa, voting was yet to commence as at 10 a.m. We can't confirm if all polling units have even started voting now. Well, don't worry, we are here all day. Till midnight, yes. I'll be leaving you at 12, by the way. Sheriff will be here from 12 till about 5. And we'll take it up from there again till midnight. Yes. Tomorrow morning, we'll do the same thing from 8 a.m. Until the results coming, we'll also give you updates on Monday morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Edna, calling from Lagos.
Welcome, Edna.
Yeah. So I just want to look into this Kogi and Bayelsa governorship.
Yes, please.
The issue is this. This Yaya Bello and the PDP candidate is there. I don't know. Let people should come down into the reality. I don't know. I want to see the former, the Lagos State former governor and that Kogi governorship election. I want to know if really Nigeria have sense into this country. Because I know that how they call the.
Hello, Edna. I'm sorry I lost you there. Well, we also have reports from Bayelsa that voters are still waiting right now to be accredited at one of the largest voting centers in Ward 6 in Yenagoa. The center, known as Marata Primary School, houses 8 polling units, and voters are waiting to be accredited. They are on the queue right there. Men, women, some with babies on their back, all turning out to vote. It's one of the largest voting centers in Ward 6 with 8 units in that center. Good morning. All right. Please put off your radio and try again. Good morning. Oh, sorry about that. Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Morning, sir.
Thank you very much. This is Onimisi from Mushin.
Welcome, Onimisi.
Thank you. I am from Ebira. That very Kogi state.
Fantastic.
Thank you. If anybody call himself a grandma that votes in Yaya today, Bello today, that fellow hasn't got any reasonable something at all.
Why do you say so?
Because we, from that very place, we know he has not performed anything. He has failed us as a tribe. Then, let me now go straight into the issue of why can't we have a credible election. It is because we ourselves, the populace, we have not mobilized ourselves into a political class who can now say, okay, we have only 2 parties now that are dominating this country. How do we manipulate them to? Very simple. We must come together to say, okay, anybody, whichever party presents that person, anybody that comes from any party, only 4 years swap to another second party so that we can test round on time, so that we know where we are going. If we say we should go for these small parties, I, for one, I belong to Ghanaian Awareness Party. That is the truth. But I know we cannot make any ends meet because there is no law. So, in that sense, we want ourselves now to manipulate ourselves. That is the whole people. Let's now come together and form ourselves formidably into a united front politically, human beings.
You are asking that we have more parties.
No parties. Let's see whatever these very 2 parties. We can manipulate these 2 parties to suit our purpose. Let's give them 4 years. Either they do it right or not, they must not dictate to us. Let's change. By the time we go around very fast, we are going to see they will still fight. It is because we say for what is 8 years? If a party cannot perform within 4 years, let's go. Even if it can perform, let's change. It is then we can know how to move forward.
Thank you very much for sharing a very passionate comment. It's saying, why don't we make the parties? Kick them out. Well, that's why it's a democracy, and that's why there are elections, and that's why you must vote and determine who would govern for the next 4 years. There are many parties. You can always choose whichever you want. I remember that people vote for different reasons. Not everyone can share your views and your passions. People have different stakes in election, right? We must agree on that one. People have different stakes in elections. Unfortunately, we can't change their opinions and their stakes, but the majority of people must watch out for the best amongst all the candidates and vote en masse for that person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah. My name is Victor. I'm calling from K2.
Welcome, Victor.
I must recommend you. You do a great job. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
The issue is that I could remember when you anchor a program and you invite a Lagos State governor candidate that failed the election.
Yes.
So the governor, you asked a question. If you were to win that election, who will you pick to be your commissioner? And how will you do it? The man told you people that are merit. I mean, people that can handle that place and there will be no effect. And there was another man on phone also on that program who said that is the reason why you failed election, because you failed to recognize people that want to vote you. You failed to recognize people that are in government, that are in power. That's why you want to leave them and go and pick the one that is merit. That is I was so shocked that that man could say that on the radio. I was so shocked. I said, that means there is no democracy. There is no merit. We don't pick people because they are capable. We don't pick people because they can do this job. That is what is happening.
So the fault is on the table of the voters.
Yeah, PDP has money. APC has money because they are the one govern this our country. PDP just hand over to APC, and APC are the ruling party now. So those two parties, they have money. And you know that there is hungry in the nation. There is too much hungry, and people want to eat. That's why you don't hear. We have credible people in other parties, but because of we are hungry, people are hungry. They want to eat from PDP and APC. That's why they are shouting. And if you ask them, what did you benefit from these people? They will tell you nothing. Only that take this and go and eat. When they were talking about vote buying, who are the people that buy votes? That same two parties vote buying, because they have the money to do all those things. Thank you. God will bless you for your work.
Thank you very much for calling. Well, we must tell you that in Kogi State, there is also another election going on, not just the governorship election. There is the Kogi West Senatorial District election rerun also happening today. Remember, the Election Petition Tribunal had on October 11 sacked Senator Dino Melaye and ordered a fresh election to be conducted. Okay, there's also going to be that election going on. A rerun for the Kogi West Senatorial District is also happening in Kogi State today. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
I make up from Preston.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I thank you for your program this morning.
Thank you very much.
We need to save this country. The resources that are waiting to conduct this charade called election is telling on this country. It's not adding any value. Democracy is not growing in Nigeria. We are just wasting our hard-earned resources for nothing. Why are we like this? Now we had AMPP, we had MPN, we had MPP. We had these people that are using state funds to intimidate voters, to announce frivolous results. What has it earned this nation? Believe you me, all this talk that are empowering today now, they are giving guns, they are sewing military and police uniforms, will become a dangerous threat in the next few months. We'll be using money that we don't have to fight insecurity that politicians had provide costs. I believe that I'm not sure there will be any free and fair election now in 2023, except if this set of people are done with what they decided to do to Nigeria. I'm sad. It baffles me that I'll start spending these billions. What we watch on TV is just a child. People are being killed as if life has no meaning. Must we continue like this? Why do we suffer for people who don't care about this country.
Well, questions upon questions. That's what he's got there. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Nagram from Ogun State.
Welcome.
Yeah. Quite unfortunately for the Bayelsa gubernatorial election. And I'm hearing that Gombe local government, they have already destroyed some things there for this country. We are nowhere we are going to this country. May God bless our country.
That was pretty brief. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Yes, I'm calling from Magodo. I am from the same local government as Yabelo, so I don't want to mention my name.
Oh, right then.
Yes, Governor Yaya Bello's alma mater, his secondary school is just right there. The primary school, they are there. He has not erected one single block on it. Even his father's house, he refused to rebuild it. For you to know the kind of animal we are dealing with.
No. You can't call people animals, please.
Okay,
no.
sorry.
That's not allowed.
That word. I take that word, please. Don't cut me off. I take it.
All
Please,
right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
So, what we are going through in this state is annihilation. People are dying. See, I have a friend who works with the state government, a level 12 officer, who was previously, his money is supposed to be like 85,500. He was being paid 65,000 during the previous government, and he was complaining. He showed me an alert yesterday that he received for like 21,000 naira out of 85,000. That's after owing him for 34 months without paying anything at all. You understand? And people are now, in my place now, in my village now, we can't do anything. You can't even say anything. They have cajoled everybody into believing in him that he's the best candidate for us. Meanwhile, people are dying. The general hospital in Okene is an eyesore. You can't go to the general hospital and get anything there. There are no doctors. The only one doctor you have has his own private hospital where he usually is. You see people dying, and the only thing they can do, they will say he has typhoid or malaria. Before you know, the patient is gone. They don't even have money to. The roads are so bad. I wonder why anybody would hit this election on tribal sentiment and would want to vote for Yabelo again. Why? It's not good. It's not fair. People are residing in Lagos or in Abuja enjoying their lives. They don't even know what is going on in the village. And you are here supporting one candidate or the other. People are dying. The Kogi state has been so unlucky, but we never had this bad. And if you say anything, the next thing, these people will come for you. And we have resorted to praying to God Almighty to come to our rescue. It is very unfortunate that just like it's happening everywhere in Nigeria, we can't do anything on our own. We just have to resort back to praying. Because if you try, you can see, I just watched the video on Facebook where the governor was swearing by God's name, wallahi, wallahi, wallahi. Monkey go market, no go return. If anybody tries any shit. Is that how a governor should talk? So I pray that Nigerians should come to our rescue. Because this is not good. And the man is out there and wants to win this election at all costs. You can see it there. The Kaduna State Governor that I commend so much for his work on the educational sector. Is there kneeling down for people of Kogi State to come and return the Governor Yabelo again? Is this how he's governing the Kaduna State? Is this how he has built 2-bedroom flats for anybody that wants to take up teaching appointments in the rural areas in Kaduna State? No. There is a primary school called Ekoko Primary School in Okene local government. It's there in Okene. If you go there, the buildings that were there since 1960s, 1940 something, they are still there. And you will see the compound. If you mistakenly fall on that compound, that person is gone. It's so, but people are still there because they have no choice. There is no money. And Kogi State is predominantly a civil servant state. So once you take out the salary of those working, you have killed everybody. The man selling recharge card, the man selling pepper, he or she is waiting for these people to receive their salary so that the economy can also come to them. When they come to buy bread or also they also have something to feed their family. Now that you have the salary, everything is died. Everything is dead. Everything is gone.
Thank you so much, Anonymous. Thank you very much for calling us.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So it's a mistake. God help us in the state. I'm from the same place with him, like I told you. From the same local government and everything. But this man is evil. God help us.
Well, we can't say that he's evil, okay? We can't use those words. That's why he's a contestant in an election, and that's why people have a choice to vote. There are many other participants in this election. I've given you their names. There are so many others, but he is probably prominent because he's a governor seeking re-election, and he has a scorecard before him. He's been there 4 years, and people have something to score his administration on. Did he do well or not? So he's probably going to be dominating most of the conversation when it comes to Kogi State, as well as his top rivals in that election. Kogi State Bayelsa election is going on right now. Good morning. Oh no, please call us again. I can take one more call right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you. Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you so much.
You are doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you and your station as well.
Thank you.
You see, this is what politics is all about. You guys promised us during the period of this election that you are going to monitor every elections in Nigeria. And exactly you are doing it. That is what party should be. I think our leaders should come to your station and learn how to keep to promise. You were talking about why we don't have other political parties in Nigeria. Why is it only two political parties that are dominating?
We have other parties, but why are we not talking about, why are we not looking at their manifestos?
The reason is simple. In 1999, we knew how political parties were formed in Nigeria. AD was dominating in the southwest, AMPP in the north central and northeast. We have the ABGA, another political party. They are all making waves. But just because they want to grab power at the center, where the real cake is baked, what happened? The AD was collapsed in the southwest here. You see? And what do we have today? We are now talking of two political parties.
We have more than two. I think we just choose to focus on one. Can you pardon me if I wrap up this conversation now, because we need to go in for the news. But the coverage continues in the afternoon. Please pardon me. Thank you all for calling. It's my goodbye right now. Yes, because after the news at 12, we'll continue the live coverage. Sheriff will be here with you. Sheriff Quadry with the team. Very thanks to all of our correspondents across Kogi and Bayelsa states, bringing us updates from there. It's a full team right here, also the newsroom and everyone on the team. Thank you all. I am Wemimo Adewuni. I'm on social media. We can keep talking, but I'm going to take a rest right now. Sheriff Kogi will be back with you after the break, after the news at 12. We'll continue this coverage all day till midnight tomorrow also. I'll be back with you at 8 a.m. Have a good day, people. Keep listening to Nigeria Info because the coverage continues. Stay here.